big up, and welcome to the Liverpool 12th Man Show. We are live and direct on a Sunday morning, evening, or if not a Sunday evening for you. We are also joined by Lee, and we are also, or as I like to say, Scouse Lee, and we are also joined by the Irishman. How you doing, Lee?
Good.
Yeah, better. Hopefully better. And Irishman, how are you doing?
I'm not too bad now. Yeah, very well. I hope you're good to go.
Yeah. Definitely. I hope you're all ready and ready to rock. Ready to rock. Um, I know we all are excited about um, what's to come for this team. You know, there's a lot of things that we're going to be having go on with the structure and shape of this club, with the new additions that we're hoping to, some of us at least are hoping to see come through the door. There's obviously going to be some subtractions from the team to make room for those additions if we are going to get additions to this team. So we're looking at that as well. We have a preseason game that I'm looking forward to, since I'm going to be getting the opportunity to meet a lot of the Reds online that get to go or that I interact with and everything else on panels or even in the chat. And I also am excited to be able to see my Reds, take on these dreaded Gooners. Oh man, I might even see my ride. Might even see my dreaded nemesis. I should say. Some one of the people that actually inspired me to pursue doing even putting even more attention into doing this football channel here, because he's a Gooner and he says some pretty lame things, saying that us Reds don't care about football and that we don't care about each other. And I was devoted and devoted to prove him wrong. Devoted to prove him wrong. Yeah. Oh man.
To measure ourselves up to Arsenal early doors, see what they've got, see what we've got.
Yeah.
Have a good little pre-season go at it before the season starts. Yeah, I'm up for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll be good. It'll be a good measure. I mean, the Real Betis. Look, the Betis game was an interesting game to kind of gauge. I mean, it's preseason. I know Brian said it before too. It's preseason. It's more so about getting your legs under you than it is trying to really get a real grasp on what you should expect from the team. But we have to physically be prepared. Seeing Curtis Jones go out wasn't exactly a shot in the arm, but I mean, but it's still something that I'm very, very optimistic about. Welcome to the chat too. That's joining us slowly, for sure. Coming through the doors here. We're going to be joined. We're possibly going to be joined by JK pretty soon, and also Daryl. JK is going to be getting Daryl the link to join us as well. So they'll probably join the party together. What is
you might want to get your headphones, Lee.
Oh yeah. You might want to pop on your headphones if you have them. I am going to show you guys what it is that we were going to talk about today. Today's topics got some 4 topics. Topic 1 is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Should I stay or should I go? That is basically a hot topic right now, because there's been reports that he is seriously considering leaving on a free at the end of the year to go and take on the pursuits of Madrid and join that super Galactico team that they're putting together. And that is one major topic. We're going to speak about Doak as well. He's got a big question mark put on to his, not say future with the team, but where and what direction that he wants to go with the team. And that is he's got a loan, or we're going to figure out if we should loan or sell, or even just obviously we should just let him stay with the team and develop under the the guidance of Artie. And we're also going to talk about this Gordon rumor that's resurfaced. It's like The Walking Dead. It just won't die.
It's a hideous floater. This Gordon room, and it just won't flush, will it? Like,
Yeah.
it's stinking up that the toilet of our transfer room, innit? Like, you know what I mean? I'm sick of it popping its evil head back up. Like, I just can't bear Gordon as a player or as a man. I just don't even like looking at him now.
Big up. JK has joined us right now. How you doing, JK?
I'm cool. Evening, Lee.
Hi, Jay.
Irishman. How you doing?
Okay.
Easing up.
So let's just start with the and then we're going to do what the show is all about, what the title was about, or description was all about, which is a Philly preview, because we might be able to get one more show in tomorrow, but most likely Tuesday and Wednesday I won't be able to do most likely won't be able to do a show, unless I'd have to see if my brother has he most likely does, but if I could use his computer or not, we'll see. We are ready to rock and roll, and we're going to talk about first topic, Trent Alexander. I'm not going to sing the song, don't worry, but should I stay or should I go?
JK's going to send you the link there.
Yes. That's what I was about to say. I'll make sure that Jay sees it. What we're talking about is Trent Alexander-Arnold. We're gonna go reverse order around the horn here. We'll start with the Irishman. We'll go to JK, and then we'll end with Lee. Irishman, should he stay or should he go? This is the Trent rumor.
Right. Put me up first. Yeah, put me up first.
There you go.
Of course he should stay. Anybody who thinks he should go, probably a Madrid fan, and so I wasn't sure who that was from. Yeah, I was just saying, no, he's fucking stay. What's going on? Yeah. I mean, we all want him to stay. Well, I think the question for me is, I mean, not to labor Lee's analogy too much, but to either X or get off the pot, as it were, because he knows he's creating all this noise around himself now, and he knows there's only one way to sort it out. I'm sure there's a contract offer there. So, until he comes out and he says, "Oh no, I'm here for the next 4 years. I believe in this, I believe in that," or because the longer he sits there hanging out, I might be wrong, and the offer on the table is not what he wants. But I think for everybody's sake, there needs to be some clarity on it. I think obviously he should stay. If I wasn't a Liverpool fan, I don't know, I'd say I don't know, maybe he should go off and do further his career or something if that's what he wants to do. But that's not what that's not what I want to hear. So I just think if he is staying, he should stay and just put this to bed pretty quickly. Or if he isn't, then because this is really annoying now at this stage, because it's the transfer rumor people, they love this, like us losing one of our best players. Man United fans, Man City fans, they love the idea that we might lose potentially one of our best players. They're loving this, so we need to get it sorted out, either one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that the same Rivals fans that repeatedly tell us Trent can't defend would be happy to see him go. You know what I mean? It sort of says something, that, doesn't it? And there is a point of view like that should Trent have to come out and say, "I'm committed to the club," but it's because it's Real Madrid, it's because it's the rumour that it is, that people are a bit twitchy. You know what I mean? And the whole thing with Bellingham being there and being big mates with him and that that freaked us out slightly. If they were saying a different club who we knew emphatically he was not going to join, then it wouldn't be so keen for him to come out and say and call bullshit on it. But because it's Real Madrid, I would like to hear something from him sometime soon about what his intentions are.
there is another. I'll have to add it. There was another topic here that I wanted to add to, or I'll just bring it in since we are talking about it. Like but these frees, the fact that he would leave on a free is I'm sure troubling. I'm sure troubling, but it's something that you're seeing more often than normal, I think, lately, with bigger names, especially, you know. So a lot of times now, the reactions that we're getting, because I've been on a couple of different content creator shows, at least in their chat, at least, and you can see that there's a lot of different takes. I mean, a lot of people are just like, let him go. I saw someone. I definitely took a screenshot of it because I was just like, wow, man, there it is. One of the comments I saw on there was, if Trent wants to go to Madrid, Madrid can have him. He's not world class anyway. It's like you hear these comments and you're just like, and you wonder why people want to you wonder why he might not want to stay here. Like that's ridiculous, man. It's one of those cases where it's like you want to be in a place that you feel appreciated and loved. And that this is someplace that Trent has always felt that way, I believe, because of his Scouser roots, because of the fact of the heritage that's involved, the fact that he grew up loving this team, the fact that he has connections to some of the legends as well. The fact that he's been a part of helping this club win everything from which is something that a lot of people don't have the opportunity of saying. You don't get the opportunity to always say that, hey, you've won everything that you can win at this club. But now we are at a stage and place where do you have aspirations of being the club captain, as I know some people have said he has and wants to be? Do you have aspirations of taking this team, who, I get it, you've only known one coach really with this club, but now you can embark on a new journey with this club with a new coach, and having you be one of the primary features of the club. It's one thing to become a star in Madrid, I get everything else, but it's another thing to become a star in England, to the levels that you can.
We need him now. We need him now. Jurgen's gone. We need him. He's one of our senior players and one of our senior homegrown players at that. You know what I mean? He's our vice captain. He's a local lad. He does a lot of media and that. We can't be, you know what I mean? We need him. We need him now under Slot. This is when we need him.
For me, I just believe the way we've handled the Trent situation, that we've left it so long now. So if he signs a new contract, it'll be like a new signing, Also, if we got these contracts sorted as soon as the season finished, like a few days after, more fans will be waiting for new signings to come in. So it's a bit strategic in the way they've handled these contracts, Realistically, they should have been wrapped up at the end of last season, even before that, January time. So everything's like sort of pre-planned chess moves in the world of football nowadays, especially with this guy, our club. Does Trent want to sign a new deal? It looks like he does in the way I read his body language over the last few weeks, since the Euros have been over. But on pictures and everything, he looks happy, sort of laid back, got nothing to worry about,
I'd love to hear Carlo Ancelotti question specifically on whether he wants Trent or not. Because sometimes they do quiz Real Madrid bosses on links and say, do you want this player? And they'll either come out and say yes or no. I would like Ancelotti to maybe hint whether he wants Trent or not, or whether this is all bollocks made up by the press.
It'll be the president that will come out and say it, Lee. It'll come out like that. It'll just be you wake up one day and there'll be the president has come out and said, we want to take the boy from England, it'll be one of those things. That's the way they do it. The press kind of dance to their tune over there as well. They'll basically do it like an announcement kind of thing. When they decide they want everyone to know that they want Trent, then they'll put it out there, and they'll come out quite brazenly about it. They won't be, and there won't be much skullduggery. They'll make it a public and an open pursuit, and they play that game better than anybody. They know how to play clubs and players off against each other, and usually end up the winner. So, like I say, the guy needs to come out and put his name on the contract.
Yeah, then we'll look
sign the thing.
This riddle. If we can't get any news from Madrid on whether they do actually want him, because let's be honest, nobody else is being linked with him, are they? We're not seeing anyone else linked with him, are we? Have you seen anyone else?
He wouldn't go anywhere else. He wouldn't go. I don't think he's going anywhere else. I think he's either staying or he's
right. He's not got like
he's going there. I don't think
he's too young, and I think he had. And I was just going to say he's not going to like Saudi Arabia or something like that. No.
Oh no, but not going to Bayern, or he's not going to. I think it's either kind of. I think it'll be either if he doesn't go, he's either going to stay or he's going to go to Madrid. You know, it could be one of those again, but I don't know, not in his head. And JK, don't worry, that body language stuff, man. He could be nice and relaxed because he knows he's got a big, 20 million a year deal coming at Madrid. Maybe that's why he looks so happy and relaxed.
Yeah. If he wasn't a Liverpool fan and he was from, say, Southampton or somewhere, then yeah, because he's a Liverpool guy,
Yeah.
I just feel that he's not doing that on purpose. He's like, because like he's Liverpool's next captain, future captain, So for me, him sort of diddy-daddling, thinking about, should I go to Madrid? I think that will cause him stress, knowing that he's like Liverpool homegrown, one for the future type of guy, That's the only reason I was thinking, because I think he would have too much on his plate thinking about that. Should I go to Madrid or should I stay at Liverpool, my boyhood club? So that's why I think he looks a bit chilled, happy. So I think he might be staying. I just feel
maybe he should read the fans' body language then and realize that a lot of the fans are not chilled and relaxed because nobody knows what's going on. Yeah. We all just need not that we deserve it, but we all want someone just come out and say, look, this is what's happening. Basically, either way, because there's no need. With 1 year now, there's no time for kind of ifs, buts, and maybes. It's going to have to be a definitive answer.
Yeah.
Trent knows they're stunning, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There are some. I do have some interesting. There are some other interesting rumors and the likes, and some of those are connected to. I know we spoke on Kubo, we've spoken on Kubo quite a bit. You know how much I do like the option of Kubo as well. I am going to bring up a player though that plays on that right side, and that is Doak. Ben Doak has been rumored to be looked at going out on loan, but the one caveat to that is he is also going to be Doak is also going to be going to possibly a Premier League team, which would be great and everything else, because it's great that, he's going to obviously get experience, or he's going to get possible playing time, or at least a little bit more of a, not say guaranteed playing time, but he's going to definitely have the option to be a little bit easier pathway to seeing playing time, because, the right wing is currently occupied by Mo Salah. With that said, if he does go to the teams that he is linked to, Leicester, for instance, being one of the teams that he's linked to, he is also being connected to not only a loan, but the option to buy, the actual being able to allow for it to be like being allowed for him to possibly be a player that you'll be basically putting him on the shop table, I guess you could say, to see if you want to actually buy or to buy his services. So I'm very high on Doak. I think Doak's an exceptional player. I also note that he's extremely young, so there's still a lot of time for his potential to shine and develop. And Southampton. Thank you, High Lord. Southampton is the other team, and Southampton, I think he will get some quality time. He will get playing time with Southampton. So yeah, so it's one of those cases where I am excited to see what Doak can bring. I would be even more excited to see him be able to showcase some of that talent on these levels that we'd like to see him. And obviously we would be able to see him quite a bit if he's in the Prem. But are you okay with Doak going out on a loan and possibly being a loan to buy, or do you want him to?
More than okay.
Would you rather?
I'm more than okay with it. I'm more than okay with him having a set buyout doings clause. I'll be happy with that. I actually would prefer him probably to go to Southampton because their fans don't sing such moronic chants or us like as Leicester do, so Leicester can fuck off in that regard, and Southampton can have him. I'd be happy for him to go to the South Coast.
Okay.
I do like
Irishman. What's your opinion on it?
Yeah, well, the buyout thing, I didn't know about that. We can just say no to that if they want. If they want an option, we can. That's not on them. That's not up to them. I mean, that's up to us. So if whatever.
The way that they're verbalizing it is that they would have, and the way that they're verbalizing is that they not only want a loan, they want to be able to. They want to sign the player
with an option to buy. They want a loan with an option to buy. Now, it's not a loan with an obligation to buy, it's a loan with an option to buy, which means if they want to buy him, they can set a previously agreed fee. But they're not obligated to do it, which means it's a hedge. But I believe he has a grand total of 36 Premier League minutes in his life. He has a grand total of 316 minutes of senior football for Liverpool. He has 0 goals and 0 assists. That's his career at Liverpool. So what we know about him, I could write on the back of my hand. So I know he's a good, skillful young winger, but he's nearly 19. So I think he might have had more minutes last season. There's the Salah thing. So I don't know. Yeah, he's not someone that has a huge body of work that I can look at, like literally 36 minutes in the Premier League. So let him go, let him play. And if if someone that says, look, we want this guy and this is our position, like if Southampton come to us and say, look, we're going to be playing a 4-3-3 next season. We're going to play this, and that, and Ben Doak is going to play there, and that's our plan for him. He's going to be our first choice winger, great, or whatever it might be. But just go and let him play football in the Premier League for a year. And if they want the option, I think if we allow an option to buy, I think that probably tells the player that we see his future maybe somewhere else. But it's a very high level loan deal, which to me is a fine line there, where if you go to a championship club that's competing to win the championship, you have a really good chance that the kid is going to play every week, by a club that wants him. Whereas once these clubs are potentially going to be relegated again, maybe not Leicester, but the manager is under a lot of pressure. Every game counts. It's win. Blooding in the young kid winger from Liverpool very quickly doesn't become that guy's priority. Saving his own arse becomes his priority. That means winning matches. So those relegation Trenton clubs are always not really the best option. So yeah, it's an interesting. That's what I was very, very surprised. Not so surprised he was going on loan, but I was really surprised to see that it was to a Premier League club because of what I've just said.
To be honest, it's almost a certainty if he went there, he wouldn't play that many games because they are trying to stay up. Like they'll have an established player in that position. He'd be a backup, wouldn't he? That's all he'd be. He wouldn't be walking into the first 11 like in the Premier League. We know that much. Like he'd get games, I suppose, but it would be better to be in the Championship, I think, wouldn't it?
It's an interesting
way more like less, less immediate pressure. Even a team trying to get promotion from the Championship is better, isn't it, than a team trying to stave off relegation from the Prem. You know, if he went to Leeds, let's say he went to Leeds and did his thing at Leeds, he'd probably get more games there.
We have brought in Daryl as well to the conversation. Daryl, can you hear us?
What's that?
All right. Okay.
How we doing, boys?
How you doing, Daryl? What's your feelings on Doak? Do you think that Doak deserves time with the team, or should Doak leave on this loan and possible option to buy concept, which would, again, like the Irishman said, kind of like give a little of the writing on the wall that we don't necessarily look at him as being a viable option.
Yeah, I think with Doak, I think you need to definitely give him a loan, because I can't see him getting much game time this year anyway. With the buyout clause, I don't think it's a bit of a hard one, because we had a similar player like Ryan Kent. Like, he's very similar to Ben Doak. So yeah. I'm not sure whether he has a future or not, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I'm deciding.
JK? JK,
me,
how about you?
Yeah. What I liked about Doak is the way he was beating their left back the other night against Betis. It was just like he came on a sub and stuff, but then glimpses of what he can do. He's actually a pretty good player, I think maybe the hype around him and Bajcetic probably didn't do them any good. And he had that sulky face as well, Doak, over the last year or so. He's had this face that was very sulky. Then he got injured. Then he missed the Euros because of another injury. So for me, I hope the guy can just get to play football, That's what I mean about football players at a young age. Hudson-Odoi from Chelsea, for example. Hudson-Odoi's name has been in football for years. Last season was the first time in all his career that you can say, you know what? He's actually did something. He did play pretty well for Forest last season. So think about that, and I don't want Doak to be that type of guy where his name has been involved in football for a long time, like Liverpool, for example, and then he ends up going on a free, ends up at a team like Forest or someone, Leicester or someone like that. So I think a lot of youth players, like Hudson-Odoi, was really hyped up back in the days. It's only now, last season, where he did something in all them years. So I don't want Doak to be one of them type of guys.
You're on mute, man. 12 man, you're on mute.
Yeah. I thought I was clearing my throat earlier. I happen to think that I gave my piece about what I think Doak brings to the table, but I also think that what JK just said is spot on. I like the way that he came out in the Real Betis game. I like the fact that he was trying to take on the defenders with his dribbling. I think that he is a talented player with the ball at his feet. Again, it's an aspect that once you do open up that portion of the game to us, it really does open up the field or the pitch for a lot of us, for a lot of the players, being able to have a player of that level, be able to take on the defender and be able to create channels and the likes, because other players have to help or do those kinds of things. That's the reason why I like him. I like the fact that he is young, but it is an interesting question of what's going to happen with this player, and I guess we have to wait and see. So real quick, go around the horn. I'll go around the horn one more time. We'll go Irishman, Lee, JK, and then Daryl. So, thumbs up or thumbs down? Obviously, we can't see a thumbs up, so you have to actually say it. Okay, except for the majority of the panel. But thumbs up or thumbs down on a loan move to a Prem team like a Leicester or a Southampton, and if you do say thumbs down, it maybe we'll correlate that to you're not against the loan, but you're just against that loan.
Okay. Yeah, just quickly, just everything you said about him can be true in terms of what he's good at. That can be true, but he can also not be good enough to make the step up here. You know, we don't have these guys. He's here because he is good at all that stuff. He's a winger, and he's really good at that stuff. That's why he's gotten to the point that he's at. Is this the point where he goes? So I would be thumbs up, but yeah, thumbs up. But I'd want a percentage sell on. I'd want something. Yeah, but kind of middling. But I'm not going to sit on the fence. So a thumbs up.
Okay. I'm going to include the chat's included in this question, and I appreciate you guys answering in the chat. Big up. And
hi Barney, and hi Jimmy, and Mark.
Yeah,
and
Jimmy, Bernie, Judge Red, Revenite. Yeah, Revenite. Hope you're doing well. Long time. Mark, how you doing? Tracy. Well, Lee can say hello to Tracy, but
I think Tracy's been at the drinks cabinet tonight.
Yeah, I think so too. Lee, you're up. Thumbs up, thumbs down on the move.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Okay. JK, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Even though thumbs up is one of the biggest drinks in India. It's like
really? All right. That's cool. I didn't know that.
But for me, I think
that's hilarious.
He's like Konza, Bradley, Doak, Bajcetic and Harvey Elliott are the bunch of the youth players who are good enough to play for the first team, FA Cup. That's why I think Doak, when Salah needs a rest, and if Doak can do what he just did against Betis and keep fit, I'd rather keep him than let him go on loan.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Thumbs down. Daryl?
Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Thumbs up for me. Good loan deal for him. Thumbs up.
Oh, all right. Okay. I'm with JK. I'm
he really needs it now. I think Joe needs it.
If he's not going to play, he needs it. Yeah. If he's not going to play, then yeah. You know, if it's the same thing, if you're sitting here next season saying he only played another 36 Premier League minutes, then what was the point? You know. So yeah, if he's not going to play, let him go.
Right. So in the chat we had a thumbs up from Revenite. We had a thumbs down from Hylor. Bernie says she'd say thumbs up as long as we can recall his loan. And Jimmy said thumbs down. So it was kind of split in the chat. The thumbs had it on the excited.
Sorry, no, just quickly. I reckon he'd be excited for if he thought he was going to play every week in the Premier League.
Yeah.
You know, we'll move on. We'll move on.
End product. Yeah. I don't know. And Hyler, that's a good question. I don't know if he would be first choice. Do you think would Van Dijk be a first choice at either of those teams? I don't think
that was the bit we mentioned. That was the bit we mentioned earlier on. Like that's why I was saying I'm so surprised that it's a Premier League move because I can see him not playing. You know, I think he should go somewhere and play. But I'm so surprised that I really expected a top championship club to be the one that comes in for. Because like I said earlier on, you know, if it starts going to shit for that club, you know, they're in the relegation zone. They're not going to be trusting youngsters and kids from Liverpool. They're going to be trusting or whoever they can trust. I can just see it turning into starting good, getting like a lot of games in the sunshine in August and September, and then when the X hits the fan, less and less game time. They're unstable. Yeah, they're promoted clubs, and I would no disrespect to Dope, but I kind of would have thought Leicester might have someone who they actually own that would start ahead of him. Because, like we mentioned earlier on, they spend money.
Even Southampton, yeah,
potentially.
That's why I wouldn't send him to a Premier League club, because you must stay at Liverpool if he's going to do that. Then,
yeah, it's a weird one, JK. It's really weird, man.
That's the whole thing. Yeah, he has to be very coveted by that team. If he's that coveted, chances are that means that they want to have him as a permanent fixture in their club. You know,
that's what I was going to say. This to me seems like, if this does happen, because we could wake up tomorrow and go, oh no, he's staying. You know, we all look like idiots for even talking about it, but look, you got to do it. This to me seems like more of a pre-transfer than a loan, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it's what you were saying. They're only loaning him with the option because they want to buy him, and maybe they kind of almost want to defer the payment because they want to spend money on something else this season. But we're happy to go. Look, you go there, and I don't know. I really don't know. The fact that, like, Leicester, it just seems too high a level to go on loan to.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
you know, even though they've just been promoted.
Yeah, they're a good team, and I mean, like, they shouldn't have gone down actually last year. They shouldn't have gone down to
no,
but it was all good. We're gonna move on to our third topic because it's a rumor that won't go away. Like I said, it's like The Walking Dead, you know. And
Man City fans.
Is that Man City fans?
Man City fans, The Walking Dead, is it?
They're The Walking Dead. Yes, they are The Walking Dead for sure. And the links have returned. There is a link saying that Gordon might be returning to Liverpool. In that this rumor just won't die, and there's been talks about the fact that Eddie Howe's come out and said that basically he expects Gordon to stay, and that he has every idea or belief that he is going to stay with the Magpies. But let's get it real. I'll frame the question in a second, but a little background history. They did offer us a deal for this, or they did offer us, or not a deal, but they structured the deal that the way they wanted it, which was a ridiculous number that they were initially asking for the player. Something that cost, it was reported to be around 100 million for this player, which is ridiculous. And they also were putting it as that if they were going to do the deal and they didn't want, and you weren't going to meet the 100 million expectation or price point, then they wanted Kwanzaa to be a part of that deal. That was just like one of those things where you're taking a piss, or isn't that how you guys say it over there? Like
Can I just butt in here? Can I just butt in? Ben Doak's better than Anthony Gordon, and that's all there is to it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'll go that far. Ben Doak is a better bet on the wing than Anthony Gordon at this point. And we'd have to pay Anthony Gordon. No way is that guy worth actual cash money. No way.
Well, according to David Lynch, who's a journalist that a lot of us do like. I know Irishman likes to see his updates. He's very connected to getting some real insight and having real connections and real links to the team. So you do get some honest, sometimes opinions that come out from David. I follow him on YouTube, but according to David Lynch, Liverpool could still reignite their interest in the England international before the summer transfer window closes. Now, it's one thing to reignite it. It's another thing to be serious about it. I don't know if that is, but the question I have is it worth us keeping this rumor alive? Like, can't we just say he's a good player, he's not a Liverpool player, and move on? Because apparently they are looking at, if they were to bring him in, they're saying that the reason why they would bring him in is that they wouldn't. It's not to be a Diaz replacement or Cody replacement on the left. It's to eventually become the right wing for this team. That's what the report is being put out there as, and that's the reason why it's going to be.
Yeah, I can see how he'd be a good replacement for Mo Salah. Yeah, I can see that when I watch his game. Yeah, I can see that. Oh,
so let's go around the horn here. Okay, let's go around the horn here. Irishman, we'll start with you. Then we'll go to Lee, JK, and Daryl. Go ahead, Irishman. What's your thoughts on
Anthony Gordon? I don't know why it's come back. I really don't. I thought it was the classic opportunistic transfer that they were talking about, where Newcastle were in a pinch and maybe it was someone that was available for a cheap price.
Mm-hmm.
But like everyone said, we're a little bit overloaded in that position. But there's been so many stories that have come out and so many sort of England camp rumors, him talking to people that it's got to be, it really does appear to have been something serious.
That rumor was he had already.
Yeah, he told people that the deal was done. Yeah. So there obviously must have been something to it. I really don't get why we wanted to buy somebody in that position. It only be because we were selling Diaz, because he doesn't play on the right. That's his position. So it's, again, 100 million they were talking. None of it ever made sense, really. You know, even to give them what they paid Everton for, which is around 45, even that, I don't know, like a very, very effective player, but a very probably FSG type of signing, but just someone who doesn't really, even though he started out in the Liverpool Academy, he is a Liverpool guy, but he went and played for Everton and he was a bit of a diver. So everyone really, really hated him. Like Scousers, Everton fans, or Liverpool fans really hated this guy. So it's hard to kind of scrub that dislike away. Even if he came back, wore the kit, you know, showed all his photos of when he was here as an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old playing in the academy. I just think he has that tarnished image amongst Liverpool fans because of the Everton link and his style of play. Put it that way. It's a really hard sell for me. It's an incredibly hard sell, especially from a dreaded PR kind of point of view. I brought up the Lee Bowyer one before. Years and years ago, when Lee Bowyer was about to sign for Liverpool back in the day, pre-internet, and they leaked pictures into the paper the day before of Lee Bowyer at Anfield, and the radio shows lit up with angry Liverpool fans, and the club saw what they read the room as it were, and they pulled the plug on the transfer. Mm-hmm. So I'm just surprised that they've looked at the Twitter kind of chat that they do. They look at these metrics and they float a story and they see how it gets responded to. And I can't believe they've looked at that and went, yeah, everyone loves that. Everyone thinks that's a great idea. Let's keep pushing on that one. So it really is a bizarre whole transfer link to me. Really is.
How about for you, Lee?
No, it doesn't make any sense to me. He's not that good a player. Like, I've seen him loads with me dad, watching Everton matches with me dad. And he's not that good a player. That's all there is to it. Like, I don't know where the links come from. It doesn't make any sense, especially not at the prices they're talking about. I just don't rate him as a player. It's that simple. There's loads of good wingers out there, and he ain't one of them. He is not one of them.
I'll be honest with you. If we're gonna go 100 million for a left wing or left winger, I'd rather see them invested in like a Nico Williams or something like that, or because that's about probably around the price that you'd have to pay for a player like that.
Yeah, you want to.
That would certainly, I think, outbid Barcelona. That was certainly outbid.
No, well, you get Nico for 58. That's his buyout clause is 58.
Yeah.
So you can get Nico for 58. So why would you go anywhere near 70, 80 for someone like Gordon? Yeah, obviously, Nico doesn't want to come here. Obviously, he doesn't want to. He wants to go to Barcelona. Yeah, I get that, Rev. It's
right.
And I know what we're talking about is just like, I know like the English. But it is irrelevant, but it's just a point of reference.
But if you do, let's say, I'm sorry, Brian, go ahead.
No, sorry, just quickly. It is like it's just the player. I mean, you've got to take it all as a package, right? It's just how it looks, how people feel about it. I mean, we'd have to get Gordon for so cheap that even Liverpool fans would be like, "Yeah, okay, I suppose you'd probably take him for that." You know, he has 6 months left, and we get him for 15 million quid. You know, right? Okay, I suppose it's not the worst deal, but nobody wants the player. That's my thing. Nobody wants Anthony Gordon. Forget about how good he is. That's just a feel. I haven't spoken to a single Liverpool fan that's like, yeah, I love him. I'd love to get him. I think he's absolutely brilliant. On board. I haven't met anyone. Everyone is negative on it. So I just think it's such a strange.
I think a lot of the Everton connections weigh heavy on it, but I also just think that if you were, and again, I just want to circle back here real quick. I think that if you had, I get that Nico Williams doesn't necessarily, he's not pining to come to Liverpool or something like that, the way that Anthony Gordon is. But I definitely think that if you were to be able to get a 58, if you say, okay, well, let's say hypothetically we spend 60 million on, or whatever the buyout clause said, 58, I think, or something like that, right?
Yeah, 58 is the number on that.
58. Okay, so you paid 58 million. You know, I was just rounding up to 60 to make it easier math. But that means that you have 42 million that you didn't spend on him. But it also means that, guess what? Now you can put him in a competitive range with his asking price for his wages, because then you do have money that you save by not spending 100 million. Like, it's one thing. I think that's one of the reasons why, or not the sole reason, that albeit. And I don't want to get in too deep into it, but that also plays a factor when you go for these big price tag players. You know, like if you go for like a Jude, great. Let's say you spend 100 million on Jude, or hypothetically. Well, Jude's also going to want to make 350,000 or 300,000 a week, and that adds up too for the next 5-6 years. It adds up immensely. So, yeah, those are all different numbers. I know Hyler's probably going crazy in the chat.
Well, I'm being corrected in the chat. And Ravi is saying that's cap nobody wants. Gordon, why do people look at him and think, you know? And Revenite is saying he wants him.
Revenite likes him.
Ravi said he's the first. But Ravi, quickly, all I'm saying is that I haven't spoken to any Liverpool fans that want him. I'm not saying nobody wants him. I'm sure there are some people out there. I'm just saying all the Liverpool fans that I've spoken to or I've talked to about it haven't wanted him. The response has been, okay, call it 99% negative. So it's a profile thing. It's a personal thing. I think it's nothing to do. Like Bernie saying, take the dislike out. I think people can't. That's the problem with Gordon. The dislike for Gordon is so strong.
I've seen a lot of them. I've seen more Anthony Gordon than probably any Liverpool fan, because my dad's an Evertonian and he lives in the flat right above me, mate. And I watch footy with my dad, and he's an Everton fan.
There you go. That's true. Yeah.
There you go.
Seen a lot more Anthony Gordon than any other. Unless your dad's a fucking Evertonian and you watch him a lot, like, you know, you wouldn't have seen him as much as I have, and he's. I'm
sorry. Your dad put you through that misery, but
oh no, I choose to say to my dad. He's my bloody dad. I love him, like, and he's nice about Liverpool. My dad, he's not a bitter Evertonian, like, you know what I mean. He's nice about Liverpool, and and I watch Everton. I want Everton to win when I sit in it watching them. I do laugh when they lose and go, you're shit and stuff like that. But you know, essentially, I'm supporting Everton. Go on, Everton. For 90 minutes, because it's me dad.
JK, let's go JK and then Daryl on this topic, and then I'm gonna get into a few rumors and then the final topic. So go ahead, JK.
I just knocked the nail on the head because of the fee, 100 million. That's a no for me. You know, he's not even worth 50. I would say 50, in this day and age, just about. Considering Newcastle paid like 45 or something. I think Brian said.
He's making he's also making £60,000, in case people were wondering as well.
He's on low wages then, not great big time wages. So
he's on. I mean, like, I think that's possibly the reason why. I mean, like, he's on some Diaz wages. Yeah, Diaz makes 55,000. He's making 60,000 a week.
But when he was asked the question, which stadium, other than St James's Park, do you look forward to playing at? Or he said Anfield, and like you could just tell he was like, I want to play there. You know, he was like, I want to go to Liverpool. You know, fair enough if he wants to play for us. I think he'll give 100%, no doubt. I don't think he's such a bad player as Lee would say he is.
Right.
He showed glimpses of what he can do. But
he's just an uninspiring one at that price. What was Gareth Bailey?
At that price, bro. Yeah.
I mean, you look at Gareth Bailey, and his tag was about 90 or 100, and they're saying he's worth 100. Fuck off. He's not exactly Gareth Bailey, is he?
Yeah.
Is he? Don't think so, anyway. He's not as good as him, like, doubt that.
Yeah, Bailey's good. But the fee for me is the biggest hurdle in that deal right there. But the signs are coming that he wants to come. And Newcastle need to sell to do any business in the transfer market as well. So they're using him as a quick deal, you know, sign him one season, get rid of him the next, make 50 million or so on top. So we can do some other business. And that's the way football is going to be nowadays. Hence why they're promoting Gordon a lot in the news, that he's going to come, this, that, and the other.
Yeah. Daryl, you're up. What's your take on this?
I do not want Anthony Gordon. Sorry, guys, but there's so many better wingers out there than Anthony Gordon. If you're looking at playing Anthony Gordon as what they're saying is a Mo replacement, why not pay for Kudos? He's so much a better football player. I'll be all in on Kudos over Anthony Gordon any day of the week. I just don't see.
I don't know. Does Kudos have a release clause? I'm not certain if he has a release clause or not. There's been rumors that he had a release clause of like 85 million, but that's been
that's crazy as well. That's crazy as well. Where are they getting the prices from these players?
Yeah, crazy. But for me, Kudos is a much better player, and he's actually right-sided. I wouldn't be in on Gordon. Sorry.
Neto for me, like injury-wise, not the best, but quality-wise, you ain't getting better than Neto. I think Neto.
If Neto could play, if Neto could just stay healthy, I'd be all in on that. But
all in for him, no problem.
Considering our record with injuries on this team, you know, it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, that's a very soft, you know, or sensitive. It's a sensitive topic. When it comes to
I definitely agree. I definitely agree on that because 60 million Wolves are quoting. We could actually get him for a lot cheaper knowing his injury record. So I think we could get him for 40 million.
40 million, I'd consider. I mean, 40 million, that's like, 40 million is a steal in this market. This is, you guys were saying about the prices that would be thrown out there. 40 million, you take a punt on it, and you hopefully you get the returns. If you don't, then I mean, like, you know, you count it as what it is, and you keep it moving. But yeah, 60 million. That's different story. 60 million, different story.
Chiesa is another one I'd be looking at for the price.
I'm so weird. Big up to Italy. You know that I like the Italians, but Italians in England, sometimes it's like this doesn't work out. I mean, I'm serious. I'm interested to see if Calafiori can be one of the first in decades to be an Italian player that comes to England and shines. Because I'm honest to God, like you tell me another name that in the last 10, 15, 20 years that is an Italian player that's come to the Premier League and been incredibly amazing, you know. And I'm sure that, you know, and I'm talking about the last 20 years, and there might be someone might say something like
Pedro Neto's the one out of all them. He's sublimely talented.
Jorginho, that's what I was trying to think of. Thank you, Reverend, by the way.
He's such a good player, Pedro Neto, and I'd be excited to see him in our side, Pedro Neto, with youth on his side, whereas Mo's getting old now. Yeah, he's just got a back. He's a sick note, and we've just got rid of Thiago and Matip, who were two eternal sick notes. You know what I mean? We don't want another one, mate.
Yeah. It's a rarity. That's my point. It's a rarity. It's just because they just don't. It doesn't. They just. I guess maybe they pine for Italy too much or pine for home too much. They play great in Italy. You know, I mean, Italian players play incredibly well in Italy, but it's also because they're surrounded by they're surrounded by the massive support and also the home cooking and everything else
and the better weather.
Are you? I feel like I'm listening to a tape of myself for the last 5 years. I've come on this show. I've made this point 1,000 times. I've said this hundreds of times. I don't know. Maybe people have forgotten I've said it, or maybe, but I've said exactly what you've been saying. I've been saying it for 5-10 years on YouTube. You don't buy Italian. You don't buy Italian players in England. I got laughed at for all the things you were just saying there. You were accusing me of working for the Italian tour sport. And you're just bringing up all the cooking. That's all the things I was saying. You must work for the Italian tour sport. So maybe what I was saying sinks into people's brains. You don't buy it. You're right. They don't. Okay, they don't. But like I always said, there's one caveat to that, and that's players who go and live in London, and that's players who are already have a maverick kind of spirit about them that makes them not the typical Italian, like Zola, like Di Canio, like players like that went to London, maverick players, a little bit different. Ravanelli, a little bit different. Took one look at Middlesbrough, went back, but he came back to play for Derby. But if you're, the likes of the average right back, central midfielder, not a star player, not getting to live in Chelsea, where again they can make up for the lifestyle bit a little bit because there's everything in London. You can get what you want to a degree.
Ravanelli and Vialli were both in that Juventus side that won the Champions League, I think, in 1995, and then they left, didn't they? After the 95 Champions League victory for Juve, they walked.
The last one that ripped it up, the last one that you were talking about was Zola. And then there was Di Canio to another group, but even the Carbone to this world. I would Chiesa.
I would say Di Canio best out of all these Italians. Excellent body wherever he went in England, and
I would have said Zola, but there's a reason Chiesa is allowed go. Mata came in and goes like, this is a guy who 2 years ago was £100 million winger. And everybody was like, oh, Chiesa. And now Thiago Motta comes in and goes, no, like a quote from Romano, Fabrizio or Thiago Motta doesn't trust Chiesa. This is a guy, like 2 years ago, they wanted 100 million quid for him.
Yeah.
So there's something serious going on there with whatever is happening. So that's, I wouldn't go near that one. You see him on his day, unbelievable. But I think he's got 2 ACLs now. He's got at least 1 ACL.
Yeah.
And they're willing to let him go. I think something like 18 million to 20 million. Like that's a hell of talk about a fall from, the heights. That's a serious one because I know 2 people who've been for the last 3-4 years. He's their favorite player for some reason. They're like, we need to buy Chiesa. And it was like every couple of months they come out 100 million quid, 120, 80 million, 90. They're like, spend it, buy it, or buy him. And now you can get him for practically nothing.
Yeah. My point, though. Right. I was just gonna say, just finishing up on this because we're gonna move on to the next topic. But my point was just, it's been a long time since Italian players have really come to the Prem and really, kicked off.
25 years.
Yeah, and
that's what we're saying. Zola.
And the fact that I get that. Revenite did say who I was trying to think of with Jorginho, but again, that's you name because you name one name doesn't necessarily mean
but he's not properly Brazilian or he's not properly Italian either. He's kind of Brazilian.
He's part Brazilian too,
yeah. So, but no, like I said, for me, it's Zola. Zola was the last one that popped off Di Canio as well, same era.
Yeah. I think they said Vialli,
same era, 90s. But what's the connection?
90s. Yeah.
Chelsea, London.
Exactly. And it was
West
Chelsea.
Ham, London.
Yep.
Maverick players.
Exactly. And it's like, you got to understand that, like, not many players are going to be like, oh yeah, I want to move to Manchester or Liverpool, let
alone Sunderland or Newcastle. Sorry.
Yeah, yes, exactly. I was just yep, exactly. And like for all those names, you'll have
they're lovely places. They're lovely places.
No doubt. Or you'll have your Barinis, I really wanted to see Fabio Barini play well and really I had high hopes for him. But again, let down. I'm good. Okay. Let's move on to our fourth topic here, and I'll let Irishman go last on this one, and I'll give him the option of opting out because I know he's tired and does not like to talk about this topic. So, but Sepp has had a U-turn in his stance. This is what the promising left center back has said. He said in an interview, he says, "I'm still a Liverpool player. I enjoy it here, really," he told Sky Sports. It's been a very nice preseason, of course, new coach, like a new era starts, fresh training, new style of play. I really like it, unquote. He says, quote, "For me, it's just about getting game time, and at the moment, I'm getting it here. So I'm happy at the moment, but like I said, it's still early. You never know what can happen. But for me, the most important thing is playing. If I can do it here, there's no better place. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest clubs. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest clubs in the world. So if it's here, it's my dream. But for me, the most important thing is playing. So I will see what happens." For quite a bit of time, there's been, the consensus that we would probably see Sepp go elsewhere, considering he's been pushing for a move, or not pushing for a move, but pushing to stay or go to Mainz, where he's had a real big resurgence in his game. Also, he's looking for playing time, and he's getting it in the Bundesliga. So, and he's got a lot of options out there. There's about 6 different clubs that have all optioned out for his services. We have definitely put a pretty high price tag on the center back currently. I say pretty high, but I think it's market value, to be honest with you. I definitely think it's market value, and I will definitely fight for that stance. But it's a U-turn. It's different rhetoric that we're hearing from Sepp, and quite possibly maybe we don't go in for a left center back, which is one of the key roles or positions that we've been looking at. I'm gonna start with Daryl, then go to JK, then go to Lee, and then and then Irishman can have the option to address it or not. But Daryl, what are your feelings on these statements from Sepp? Are you now bullish that he should stay, or are you still in that tent that says no, let's find him a spot and let him go?
I'm still on the sell side, to be honest with you. You can't really come out and say Liverpool keeping him from developing or becoming a better player, then to switch and change minds within a matter of days. But I'm sorry, but if he's 4th choice centre back at Liverpool, he's never going to be any higher. I'll be selling him and getting another centre back. That's what we need. Not a player that's been on loan for the last 3 or 4 years. We need a centre back. We need a DM. That's it. Definitely.
Currently, right now, to answer Bernie's question, he's being priced at £20 million. £20 million is the price tag that we've placed on Sepp. They've given offers. There's been offers that have come in, but they've been substantially lower. They've been around the 12 million mark, 12 million pounds mark for him. Have been like the highest number I've seen so far has been 12 million. Just to answer the chat. Big up YouTube name too, by the way. Welcome. JK, how about for you?
I watched him play the other night. He was sound. He was tidy. But I can understand it from his point of view. He's trying to think, am I going to get him before Virgil, Kanate, Kwanzaa, and even Gomez? You know, am I going to get a game? So he's looking at it in that way. But if he's got a choice between, say, playing FA Cup games, League Cup games, then going to Mainz in Germany, he needs to sort of. He's how old is he again? Sorry.
22, I think. Let me double check for you.
Mm-hmm. So if he's like 21, 22, he's got a few.
Oh no, he's like 22.
Still.
He's like 22, 23. He's like in that range.
Okay. So by the time he's 25, he should be playing regular for a team, you know. 24, sorry. Like he's setting a team. But he just has to realize the owners are going to put a price tag on him where they're going to want to make money off it. So that's the price they've set. That's got nothing to do with him. In a weird way, he sort of highlights his potential with that fee. You know, 20 million. You probably think, okay. When you think about it, £20 million for him, that's craziness in this day and age of football. He'll be like 4th, 5th centre back choice in the Liverpool squad if he came into the squad this season. And you're looking at 20 million. It's like, whoa, you know. He's been on loan. He played all right the other night, so he has to work out in his head where does he want to play football.
Yeah. Let me get you the age. He turns 23 in December of this year. Okay. He's 22 currently. He turns 23 in December.
Yeah, so he's got 2 years left to sort his career out, you know. It's all about game time. I always think that, you know.
Absolutely. Agree with that.
It's all about game time.
Absolutely. Lee, what are your thoughts on this U-turn? Are you excited to hear the U-turn? Are you excited to hear him being open? I mean, because before he was saying some pretty spiteful things in that he was saying things like, you know, Liverpool are thwarting my opportunities and my from getting a loan or getting by putting this price tag on my head, or you know, or they're thwarting my opportunities of going on and getting playing time at these other clubs. You know, you haven't necessarily shown that you wanted me before. You know, what do you think?
I'd like to see him partner Virgil and see how that works out. Like, you know, hopefully we get one or at least one chance to see him partner Virgil, like in the pre-season, and see what the two of them are like as a pair. I'd be interested in seeing that. Like we were saying a couple of days ago, if we can get 12 all in one go, that'd be a good fee. But if it's like over a period of time and we're only getting 12 in like installments, sounds a bit low.
Yeah.
But I mean, the money would go towards buying a new player, wouldn't it? It wouldn't buy as a new player, probably like 15 million, but it goes towards it, wouldn't it? So yeah, it's up to him. It's on him really to prove it now, isn't it? Like in the pre-season to slot. It's on him to prove it to his fellow countrymen that he's got the minerals or whatever terminology you want to use, that he's got it. He's gonna
what the
do
kids
it.
use today, the minerals.
So we'll see. That's all we can do is wait and see.
Okay. Big up to Robert. It's a new name I haven't seen before, but big up to you. Robert McGuire says if Seth Vandenberg and Kwanzaa can keep another clean sheet against Arsenal, Kanate and Virgil better watch out. Yeah. Big up, Robert. Big up. Irishman, this is your do you want to pass or do you want to play?
I'll play quickly. I don't think what he said, I said at the time, I don't think what he said was spiteful. I think what he said was, I'm a player that's been there since 2009, since he won the Champions League. You've never played me. You keep sending me out on loan. I've had a chance to go somewhere, and you keep saying no, but you don't play me. So either play me or sell me is all he's saying. So I can just go on and get on with my career, and you can move on. That's just standard par for the course player stuff. I didn't have any problem with him saying that at all.
No,
because we'd never played the kid. So now he's come back, and maybe he said, well, look, that was the issue. If you're not going to play me, then just sell me. Right? Because we all know I've been here. I didn't join 6 months ago. I joined like 5 years ago. This is stupid now. Either play me or sell me. So now they've said, no, look, chill out, man. We are being honest with you now. We will play you. We will give you opportunities. So if he's been told that, it's like, yeah, of course. I just wanted to play. I want to get it away, play my. But if these guys are saying, no, we're serious about giving you a chance, I don't think it's. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a U-turn. I'd call it us saying to him, you have a future here. We're not going to loan you out.
He's taking a U-turn.
He's just been told, look, no, we're not messing you around. We're not going to tell you, we're not going to turn down bids for you and then send you out on loan somewhere and not play you. You know, he's been told, okay, no, look, you've got a serious shot here. Okay. So like he said, yeah, look, if all I ever wanted to do was play football, if I like they sent me out, he's right to think they don't want me. They don't think I'm good enough. Now so all I want to do is play football. But if you're telling me that I can come here and play football, massive. Yeah, of course he's going to want to come and play football. But again, to me, it's just preseason room 101. You know, you see players and they come in because none of our other players are there. You know, we see players that don't play because half the squad isn't there. And then these guys go out. So I think it's up in the air for him. Everybody is now, it's not news. It's they're impressing the manager. They're all getting a look at people. But like I said, I just work on data, and he's been here a really, really long time, and he's never played for us. Okay, that's all I know. I work on previous data. So what happens in the future, I don't know. But if you look at me, any other player that's been signed by a club and been out on loan for 4 or 5 years, you're going to say, oh, that guy is still, that sounds like a Chelsea guy. He's still there. Okay, whatever. You know, so look, there'd be not like, I don't know. It's some people, again, I saw a great, people do like to overreact to preseason games, but he's in the squad. He's making positive noises, and maybe we're making positive noises towards him. All the people are coming out and backing him. I'd ask you this question. If you were told we're not signing a centre half because we have Sepp van den Berg, how would that make you feel? If Stock came out and said we don't need a new centre half because Kwanzaa is going to play more, I have Sepp back.
Right. I'm going to be my take on this as of right now is this. Look, there's a reason why Euro didn't sign here, but there are other reasons involved in it. But one of the reasons I believe that he didn't sign here is because he wanted playing time and his salary was going to be extremely high. When it comes to Sepp, it's not the salary isn't a concern. That's not the needle mover of whether he stays or goes. It's not the salary, but for the actual individual player, I'm going to land. Allow me to land.
No, I'm just thinking, no, not money.
Oh yeah. But what I look at it is this. As I think it was, I want to say it was YouTube name that might put in there. I think that said the whole point about Sepp isn't the top choice. I get that. He's also not going to possibly be the second choice, most likely. But could he be the third or fourth choice? Yes, absolutely. He's going to get playing time in cup competitions. He's going to get playing time if and when knock on wood, hope they don't. But if something happens via injury, he's going to have to take it. Maybe also because of congestions of games and the likes and the minutes and everything. He should be able to get some decent playing time. But when it comes to a third, not even third, I'd say even a fourth tier center back, like that's just it. When you have a team that has Roger van Dijk, he's going to play the majority of the minutes. That only leaves one spot. So now you have Kwanzaa and Konate and possibly Sepp vying for those minutes, And I think that you have to have that right mentality of player that wants to obviously be a player that gets playing time all the time or is the top choice. But let's just be honest. It's just not going to happen. He's not going to beat out Virgil van Dijk. That's not happening. Move aside.
We're talking replacing Ibudo, aren't we? Really?
I mean, like
We really are.
And that's where it gets down to it. I mean, like, does he think that he could possibly take on Ibu? Look, with Ibu's injury history and with his availability history, you're going to get playing minutes. That's as simple as that. I would like to not have to or not be able to say that, because I think Konate is when healthy and fit, he is one of the top center backs in the Prem, in my humble opinion. But he doesn't show availability, and that availability hurts. So you have to have those options of players that can fit in. Fortunately for us, Kwanzaa has emerged as a real solution, but he's young, still got ways to go in his development in the whole nine. You want a player that has some experience in being at that level. Sepp has gotten that experience by playing quality minutes in the Bundesliga. Correlate that into playing in the Prem. I'm for it, but you got to recognize that opportunities come at sometimes the most unopportune times. You got to be ready and prepared for them. And I'm hoping that Sepp can conceptualize the fact that this is one of the best in the world. You could possibly have a similar situation that happened to Matip and Kwanzaa, and all of a sudden you're the guy.
Well, he has. He said it in his statement. He said it's the biggest club in the world. So he has. Yeah. So he knows this. Like he said, if I can play here. But my question was, if Arne Slot came out tomorrow and said, we're not signing a centre half because Kwanzaa and Sepp are the guys, would that be? That was the simple question. That was if you know what.
Considering we're going to have a preseason that obviously is going to heavily feature those two center backs being the first choice center backs in this preseason. You're going to see them work together. You're going to see how they play.
Yeah,
I'm saying I would be okay with that because.
Okay, so that's a cool. Yes, I just wanted to do a quick kind of a
that
thumbs
would
up.
be in essence what we're looking at what some of these early cup game competitions would be with that center back pairing, in my opinion. Like I'm
just wondering as a quick kind of straw poll.
We can do a straw poll.
That's just quickly what I was.
No, I was going to open up to the chat. I was going to open up to the chat.
Yeah. Just like if that's what he came out and said, we're not signing a new. Someone asked him in a press conference, "Are you signing a new centre half?" And he says, "No. We think that Ibu, VVD, Sepp, and Kwanzaa will be our four. And Gomez, I'm thinking more as a utility player at this stage. Right. Bonkers, yeah. So definitely like a fifth in the rotation. But if you get just a quick kind of simple straight, like if he said no new centre half because it's VVD and Ibu and then Sepp and Kwanzaa, would people think, okay, they're happy with that, or would they say no, we still not get rid of Sepp, but would they still think we needed a new centre half, or would that four be good enough? I don't know. JK,
real quick, I'm going to pose it to the chat. Thumbs up, thumbs down to the Irishman's question. Basically, thumbs up being, would you be okay if he ends up being our second tier center back, or thumbs down as in no, he's not the level. We need someone else. We need to go out and get another center back. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Go ahead. I don't know if Lee's with us because his camera's not on. So
JK, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. We'll come back to you, Lee. Go ahead, JK.
Yeah. For me, Sepp is third, fourth choice, no problem. Just depends on him what he wants, What it is with when you start playing football at a young age, I think with Carvalho, for example, he thought he was going to be a starter for Liverpool after he scored that Newcastle game, and we've seen what happened with him. He got shipped off on loan and stuff like that. So I think sometimes confidence is cool in a player. He's like 21, 22, no problem. I like that, but don't expect to be a starter for Liverpool Football Club. Kwanzaa didn't expect that. He got thrown in at the deep end. and he kept he didn't
kicking.
he kept kicking. You know what I mean? So, and that's what it's all about. Like for me, as I was saying a minute ago about he's got a choice now. As we've seen as last season, with the amount of games we've got and the amount of injuries we've had, and how amount of injuries that happen in the Premier League, he's got a choice between doing that for Liverpool or going to a Bundesliga team, for example, and maybe being a starter every week. But for me personally, I would say, you know what? I'd rather stay at Liverpool with Virgil, train with Virgil, learn from Virgil. He's from the same country. He's the captain of my country. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, so I think I think sometimes
Football's
they make
an
a little bit of
international
noise.
game.
Yeah.
Say again, Brad?
No, I was just saying football is an international game. There's Dutch coaches and Dutch players, and sometimes I just think they're everywhere. They're all over. Yeah. I mean, someone was saying earlier on about what about the fact that we have a new Dutch coach? Sorry, where do you think Pep Linders was from? You know, Pep Linders was like it was like our head coach. He's Dutch, like you know, like Gravenberch had a Dutch coach last year. Gakpo had a Dutch coach last season. You know, it's not like, oh, we got a Dutch guy coming in. You know, it's like, you know, it's an international game. Yeah. So, but no, sorry, you're right, JK. Like, if he turns out to be some guy that I'd forgotten about, we'd all written off. He was out in Germany on loan for 2 years, and he comes back and actually turns out to be the next whatever. We're all going to be sitting here rubbing our hands. No doubt about it. But I just think that the optics of it and the media kind of like coming out, because everyone is crying out, we need a DM and a centre half. DM centre half. I just be really interested.
It'd be nice to have it. Be nice to have a centre back, but
Well, Dick, you're at the head of the Ebu out queue, you know, because
that's the part of why I'm saying it. That'd be nice to have. If we're going to either give Kwanzaa that role as being the number 2 and let him rock with it, or
I think he does get it.
Yeah, I think he can. It'd be great to have. It'd be an amazing partnership to see blossom and for him to learn under the tutelage of DVD. It would be incredible.
But, and this American tour is like a trial for him now.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
Let's leave it as that.
We're step 2 though. We're step 2. Yeah.
A bit of a thumbs up in the chat seems to be there.
Yeah, no, I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm gonna bring up the votes. Definitely thumbs up, thumbs down. Put them into the chat. Yeah, you can put the emoji, or you can just write out thumbs up, thumbs down. Go ahead, Daryl, and then we'll go to Lee for his opinion. And hopefully he saw. Leave them out. Don't put that into your answer. You there, Daryl?
Hello.
Yep. You there?
Yeah. Thumbs down for me, boys.
Thumbs down. Okay.
Yeah.
Daryl's got to go. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Take your time. Oh, word. Okay. Go ahead. Lee, what were you going to say then? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
What, selling Jack Vandenberg?
Mm-hmm. No.
Thumbs up on. Do we? How do we? Go ahead, Irishman. You go ahead.
If Arne Slot came out tomorrow and said, "We're not buying if someone asked him in a press conference, "Are you buying a centre half?" and he said, "No, we're not signing a centre half. My 4 next year would be Virgil, Konate, Sepp Vandenberg, and Kwanzaa." Would you be happy with that as our 4? We know Gomez exists and all that, but just if he said, "No, I'm not signing a centre half because the 4 that we have, including Sepp, is what I'm going to go with," or would you be thumbs up on that or thumbs down?
Thumbs down, unequivocally, thumbs down. But
unequivocation, I love it.
If he was to be the 4th centre half in Slot's eyes, we just, like you said, we'd have to deal with it, and hopefully it'd be a good choice. Slot will have seen something, and that will have forced his hand to stay in his pocket with his money. You know what I mean, sort of thing. I'd be happy either way, as long as it works.
All right. I guess basically I'm going to bring up the chat here. Robert says thumbs up. Bernie was Jimmy. I don't know if Jimmy got her to decide or not because he said she was sitting on the fence. She says she hasn't seen him play enough, so she's on the fence. Robbie said thumbs down. He says if they are not really going to be rested at times to prevent burnout, let's see who else was thumbs down. Is there any other votes in there? Jimmy.
I don't know.
Jimmy said
thumbs down. Robbie's kind of taking it, like Robbie's kind of saying, "Oh well, you can't have all four of them if you never rest them and they get burnt out." Well, I mean, what you're saying is like you can't do it if I don't. Robbie, like you know what I mean? It's like you have four players, right? They play. You have four center halves. Okay, nobody has six. You know, so you're kind of going straight to the worst case scenario. So, well, there's no point doing it if the worst thing in the world happens. Of course, there's not. But you're not. We're not going to have 5 top quality center halves.
This I'll bring up this. I'll bring up this question before we move on to the last topic here. And Robbie's saying, do you see Real Madrid dreaming about buying top players? No, you don't. They make it happen. They don't live in a dream world, unlike Liverpool. I get that the sentiment that is now being created from Real Madrid's pursuit of bringing in Davies possibly on a free and bringing in possibly Trent on a free. The fact that they've already brought in Mbappe on a free, which is crazy. I mean, not many times do you hear all these top talent players going to a club on frees as they are and being still having prime years in front of them, going on frees to these clubs. But that's the world we're somewhat in right now.
Yeah.
And
not Real Madrid.
And what I was going to get at, before Arjun steals all my thunder here, what I was going to get at is that Real Madrid has definitely resurmounted themselves as a certain level. I don't think it's fair to compare Liverpool to Madrid, though, under those circumstances. Madrid have some better options in the in appeal to players, okay, when it comes to certain aspects of environment, certain aspects of salary structure, those kinds of things. But also, like, I get Real Madrid might be doing it, but we're not Real Madrid. There's only one Real Madrid, really, you know? So Real Madrid aside, let's move on to, if you were to tell me that Barcelona's doing it, I'd be like, okay, all right, well then there's another team. You might bring up Bayern Munich is doing it. Well, Bayern Munich has different settings once again to how it can move in the transfer market and the salaries that they can offer to the players, because of the structure of the Bundesliga. I think JK could probably back me up on that, and it's the reason why so many they have a Delict making 200 and some odd thousand, euros a week sitting on their bench. And now this player can't even find a team to go play for. Okay.
Going to Roma, apparently, was last I heard. I thought he was done. Yeah, they're even.
We all thought it was done deal for
Man United.
United, but I think the Euro thing kind of pushed it back. Again, it pushes it back in that there's only, and this is something I've stressed this a lot. And what I've stressed is that I get that we all want we want a team that has world-class player, world-class player, world-class player, world-class player, right down the entire roster. That's not realistic, though. You need players that are going to be role players. You need players that are going to be like, those players. I'm not saying that I'm vying for Nat Phillips to be. That's another name actually out there that hasn't is one of our center back options also that should possibly have gone out or gone already. But like, I'm not saying that I'm vying for our Nat Phillips, but you have to have those kinds of players that they get that they're not going to get the minutes, but they're comfortable playing, and when they get the opportunity to fill in the role that they need to fill in, they do it. And you're not going to have £100 million player or a £75 million. We're not going to have the graces of having a Grealish on the bench in a sense. Is my point. spending $100 million on Grealish and then having him sit on the bench. That's just not how it's going to work for this club. That's not how it works for a lot of clubs.
No, that's only how it works for about 4, maybe 3 clubs, maybe.
Yeah, and it's true what you're saying. It's you're not going to get you're not going to get 4. You're not going to get 4 Virgil van Dijks all playing for 2 spots in the Liverpool team. You know, so Virgil's the prime guy out of our centre backs. The guy underneath him for me is Kwanzaa, and then the one underneath him is Konate, then Gomez, and then he's going to go down. And each time it goes down, they're not better than the guy who they came down from. So for me, Sepp de Van den Berg, for me, he's probably the perfect choice just to fit in as the 4th, 5th centre back choice. You know, it's just like we have to sort of persuade him to see that as well. And you've seen last season, we needed players, and there was enough game time. And we're in 4 competitions again next season, Champions League this time as well. So he should use his brains and think, you know what, I'm going to get game time. What was him, I'd say.
Go ahead, Arshman. You wanted to put in.
No, it's just we moved on from separate. What's the next? What's the kind of final question, kind of topic, kind of thing?
Yeah. No. Oh, I thought you were going to address the whole Madrid thing.
Oh yeah, with Madrid. Look, we ain't. Look, someone said earlier on about they lost Euro to United. Man, if Madrid wanted Euro, he'd be at Madrid. If they wanted him enough to compete, like they wanted him, we know they wanted him, but they wanted him on their terms. That's how big they are now. He's only at United because Madrid were like, we're not going to do what they're going to do. We're going to do it the way we want to do it.
Yeah, they offered like an incredibly low bid.
They offered market value for a guy with 1 year left on his deal who's 18 years old.
Which is spot on. You're right about that.
And Man United just went in and threw the bank at
I just meant they offered a low bid considering Man United had offered such a high bid. That's what
Man United came in afterwards. Madrid went, look, we'll give you this and we give you that. And Leo were like, no, maybe not. And then Man United just came in and went, we'll give you like the price for someone with 4 years left on his deal. You know, it's like, oh, okay. You know, it's okay. Yeah, you know, Madrid are like, no, we're not going to get played like that. We'll take players. Like they are really walking around like with, you know, big man syndrome here at the moment. They're picking and choosing. If you've noticed what's happening, it's an interesting one in the media now. Barcelona have tried to put out that there's a similar situation with them happening where they're all in on Nico Williams, but they also want Dani Olmo. But they're going to tell Dani Olmo to sit and wait until the Nico thing. So they're trying to put out in the media that they're also acting like that. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, bonkers. I don't know. Is that true? I don't know if that's true or not. I'm hoping it's not true. Or no, I shouldn't say true. I'm hoping that we're not even. The last thing we want to do is sell Endo, who's not making an incredible amount of money, but he's a decent enough player to be, you know, again, a role player, you know, or a squad player or whatever, or even a makeshift starter at times. But yeah, if we were to, that's just a hole that we wouldn't want to open up even worse, because I know DM is one of the roles that we've been talking about trying to solidify. If we get it. Yeah, we don't want to let Endo go away. And also about the Dani Olmo thing, I'll bring that up real quick before we get into the very end of the subjects here. The Dani Olmo thing was that negotiations as the reported, there are negotiations as on the reported 60 million euros or 51 million pound release clause for Olmo's contract has now expired, with the Bundesliga outfit willing to let the 26-year-old depart should an appropriate bid arrive. It's being reported that, but if Liverpool are keen on a deal, they'll have to make sure their bid is taken more seriously than Barcelona's after the Spanish outlet Sport, which is this is where this is coming from, revealed the payment structure of the La Liga 60 million euros offer was of concern to Leipzig. According to the report, 40 million euros was a base fee to be paid in 10 million installments across the next 4 January windows, with the rest offered in bonuses, £5 million for each La Liga and Champions League title, won maximum of 2 titles for each competition. It's claimed Leipzig reportedly viewed the offer as ridiculous and surreal, meaning it's extremely likely that it will be rejected, meaning the Barcelona offer for him. So Barcelona is wanting to get involved in these deals. I don't know. I know that they've said that they have the money to do it. I know that they've said that they can make these things happen. I know that a lot of reports are very similar to this, and that the offers really aren't that serious. It's more so they're trying to do hoops, do gymnastics basically to try to make these options work. I don't know if it is going to be an option that actually does work out for them. So that's that.
That's mad. It's weird, Madrid and Barcelona, they play really tight. Like they don't really like Real Madrid. The only reason why you get players waiting for their contracts to run out is because of the success they had. If we under Klopp won them Champions Leagues at that time, where we kept going to each final every other year and stuff, we would be in that position probably where fat players would be waiting for their contract to run down and, hey, I want to go to Liverpool. And that's what success does. So it's like a cycle, and that's why Real Madrid can do that. Why? Because they're winning all the Champions League every year and their league titles, So that's why sometimes fans need to be a bit logical on that sort of thing. When you win, players want to come.
Sure.
Let's
move on. I'm hoping everything's done. Go ahead.
No, it's just saying you have to trace back the lineage as well. Why are these teams successful as well? It's because players want to go to, we talked the other night about players having heroes and how important players' heroes are to them. How, well, you ask any Brazilian or Argentinian player that's 22 to 25 years old right now to name their heroes and who they played for. They've all played for Barcelona and they've all played for Real Madrid. They do want to go where that's the other thing that you need to bear in mind. Some of these guys want to represent the clubs that their heroes represented. Neymar wanted to go. So that will always, to break that cycle will be difficult. We will always get the top European players. But the cycle there is and also, like we talked about, Italians not wanting to live in Sunderland and Newcastle. Well, guess what? Liverpool isn't exactly the Côte d'Azur either. So I don't think we should be kind of hyper focused on those guys not coming to us. You can get the Laudrups and the Zidans and the Del Pieros and the top European talent that want to come to Liverpool because that's the club they grew up supporting and their thing. So that's cool. I'm fine with that. But that's that will always be where we are at the moment. But I think there's still a healthy enough kind of South American contingent that look at the Premier League. And again, let's not forget, it does come down to money, right? At the end of the day, it comes down to money, right? So if you can offer some guy 25 grand a week more than some other guy, then maybe that'll also do it for you every now and again. Don't worry about that. But because there are still, as long as the Premier League is so strong and so kind of competitive, you will get players that will say, "Yeah, I wouldn't mind a bit of that, a little bit different." So we'll always have that big attraction. But look, it starts with being in the Champions League, and that slot's big. That's his, in trade number one, stay in the Champions League. Because Liverpool, Europe, big name players, you can't attract them if you're in the Europa League or the Conference. So, job number one this season is make sure we stay in the Champions League as far as I'm concerned.
Let's move on to the main topic at hand, which is in case, and this is, again, I know that the game is on Wednesday, or Thursday for some of you, but we have a just in case I'm unable to bring out a show for the preview. of the Arsenal matchup. I wanted to speak on the Arsenal game coming up in Philly. And we also we'll talk about this too, Bonkers. I see that you are definitely.
Oh yeah, a lot of talk on that last few minutes, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like there's something to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they're probably trying to make a cheeky little offer, but I mean, like to say, hey, would you want 12? He's saying 12 million euros. I think he said, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm not surprised clubs have said
14 million euros.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised at all. The clubs have said, "Hey, hang on, he's pretty good, isn't he?"
Yeah,
I'm not surprised at all that someone's tried to, like you said, come in with some cheeky little kind of, we'll give you your money back. He's a year older. We'll give you your money back.
About what we paid for him.
Basically. Yeah, basically, we're getting right. Yeah, fair. Yeah.
But I wanted to do something of a team preview, I guess, a game preview for the game. We've already spoken on some of these players. Let me make some room here so I can bring up this thing. All right. I'll bring this up. You're still with us, Lee, right? I'm making sure. Oh, maybe not. Okay. So, so what it is I guess we'll skip Lee for right now. But Irishman, this team coming up, Arsenal, big game. You could say that at least, it's a big game, right?
Right, okay.
Yeah. So I'll see if I can fit it in there. So big game. I think that I'm going to do a predicted lineup here. I think we can all be safe to say Kelleher should probably. It's a game that we want to probably see the closest thing to a realistic starting lineup or the starters involved in this matchup, considering it's against Arsenal, and Arsenal does have a pretty good assortment of starting players that they have brought on this USA tour with them. So this would be a good match to kind of get a little bit of a gauge as to how the new format and system that we're working fits with against Premier League title, especially a team that we are going to be vying against. And Bernie, I do agree. Trey Neone does look like a talent, a very big talent. I actually think that he might get the start, to tell you the truth, in this game, depending on whether Curtis Jones is available or not. I know Hyler was saying some of the names that he saw, some of the names they didn't see in the in the behind the scenes coverage, but we did see Curtis Jones leave for some medical evaluations. I know that we saw, or at least I saw, that that Connor had an ice bag, had an actual ice bag on his ankle, which isn't something I want to see. But and he was limping a little bit after the game when he was walking around the pitch, but maybe that's because he still had the ice bag on his ankle or something. What is it that we see this team looking like for Arsenal? And do you want to see the same of what I just said, Irishman? Do you want to see a team that looks closer to some of the bigger names, or do we just keep it a mix, somewhat a light mix?
No, you do. You do. Yeah, definitely. I would put. You got the four, and I'd put the fittest players on to start, basically. Anyone to carry anyone that isn't carrying a knock or anything like that. Anybody that's just back isn't going to start. People like that. Yeah, I'm not really entirely sure. Yeah, because I said I thought the previous game was going to be more of a kind of an 11 in the first half, 11 in the second half. Didn't really play out like that. It turned out And then I was kind of talking to myself, I was like, well, obviously, because of the few games that are left, we don't have time for experimentation. And so I would imagine probably another 60 minutes for some of the kind of more starter type players. But yeah, I'm really not sure who's injured, who's going to come in. But yeah, it's a hard one for him, for Slot. It really is. I don't envy him at all. He's come in a really hard season. All the Euros, the Copas, and all that. Sure, has he even met Darwin Núñez?
Definitely. I agree. Difficult season.
Has he even met these guys?
Yeah, difficult season to to deal with, considering the tight schedule of all the games, the way that they're going, like the availability of players. Obviously, you'd like to have the team that you want to go into the preseason at least somewhat getting some familiarity of what this coach wants to do with it. We've seen the comments of Curtis Jones saying how like this is like different than Klopp's system, or some of the nuances behind it are different and everything. But JK, what's your opinion? And then we'll bring Lee in.
For me, like getting that centre back pairing of Kwanzaa and Van der Berg together to play in, so Van der Berg gets some game time. That's important. Like I seen Connor with the ice on there. Curtis came off after 30 minutes. So them two probably be 50-50. But for me, I just want to see every member getting game time. That Naomi lad came on the other night. What a sort of debut for him, played really, really well. So for me, I like when it gives a good example to the other youth players when a guy like him comes in and just plays football and gets on with it. He never passed the ball back once, I don't think. He's got the ball, turned, passed it, quick, bang. So respect to him. And I think hopefully the other youth players, they've seen Kwanzaa, they've seen Conor Bradley get loads of game time last season. And that sort of spurs them on to play better and get better.
Okay. Lee, how about for you?
Yeah, we're in a good place with the younger players now after last season, the Carabao and all them. That period around the Carabao final when we had nothing but young players hardly at times, you know what I mean? And we really had to use them, and they really did pull their weight, all the young players. So after that, we're in a good place, aren't we? And the ones that are behind, the ones who come through last season, they're all chomping at the bit to get in there and show their mettle, aren't they?
Yep.
And I'm pleased about that. That we look like we're in a good place in that particular regard, and we've got loads of good established, experienced players as well. Let's not forget he's got a really good squad to work with here. So, and he knows that. He said that when he come in, you know what I mean? One of the first things he said was, I'm excited about working with this bunch of players. Like, he knows he's got a good squad.
Good, Rob. Yeah.
I'm just really looking forward to it now. Like, we've had the first game now. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we've had the first game. Yep.
Yeah, and I did enjoy that. Like, Curtis come out and said that what he said, that was good. And I want there to be a little bit of a noticeable difference in our game which I'm sure there will be. It's a different fucking manager. It's not going to look exactly the same as it, like, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm looking forward to.
The Betis game, it showed me just a quick thing, bro. When Liverpool with Klopp were on top of their game, the way we played against Betis the other night, it was that same sort of energy. Closing down was real good. Even Carvalho, he was coming he came down to the goalkeeper's line to clear the ball and stuff. So it looks like Slot's probably got into these youth players' heads over the time where the older guys are still at the Euros and stuff. Probably drilled their heads that I want this type of energy when we play. So that's a good thing I seen the other night.
Yeah, no disrespect to Jürgen, but I was tired of his football towards the end of last season when it was clear that we were finishing in third, no lower and no higher. The season sort of fell a bit. I was tired of seeing us playing that way. And I'm glad now that we're going to have something new. No disrespect. I enjoyed every minute that Jurgen was here, every minute, every second. But it's something new on the horizon now, and that can only be good, can't it? Like, to just have some fresh impetus, like some fresh ideas, and just
No
getting
coaching week.
around the club, probably, like.
Go ahead,
And
Brian.
hopefully less injuries. So
Less injuries. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
that's the main thing.
Klopp did say when he came to Liverpool, he said he felt at Dortmund that the players needed to hear another voice, that they needed to hear a different voice, because Dortmund had sort of fell away, hadn't they? And was sort of like drifting a little bit. And he just packed his bags, didn't he? And said, "Nah, fuck this. Like, they need a new manager."
Yeah. How about then? How about? Oh, do you have a comment? Do you want to bring in? Go ahead. I was just gonna get either that, or we can go into the that we could get into the predicted lineup after your comment. Go ahead.
Oh no, just on the football. Yeah, I just think that I will forever die on the hill that this isn't me. I'll speculate afterwards, but if you just read the books, if you read the quotes, if you read what Klopp literally talks about himself, not speculation, nothing. He will tell you he has people around him who do things that he can't do. He knows what he can do, he knows what he can't do, like all the best people. And he surrounds himself with the best people who can do the things that he can't do. And one of those is a tactical type coach. Kravitz, with the guide, or Buvac, was known as the brain. He was Klopp's brain. It was all supposed to fall apart when Buvac left. Because he'd tell you it's a big part. Like, they sit there and go, "What are we going to do?" Klopp will they work together. Klopp doesn't just sit there and some guy hands him a note saying, "This is how we're going to play." No, but it was a collaboration. It was a big partnership. And Buvac was the guy that would come up with a lot of the technical, the tactical, and the coaching stuff. Linders came in and replaced him. And I will forever say that the Buvac way of doing things suited Klopp way more than what Linders wanted to do. And Linders football slowly diluted Klopp football right down until the point where you saw it last year. Lee, you said it. The way we played football last year was horrible. It was absolutely horrible to watch. It was boring, predictable. It was uncreative. It was like all of those things that we used to do sometimes under Klopp, but at the start we would play with high energy. And I know different, we can't press and counter-attack teams in a low block. I know that, of course. It changed. But it seemed to me that it became, what we were getting at the end was the worst of Klopp and the worst of Linders. It was so stale and predictable and boring. Guess what? 1-0 down, struggled to score. And I hated watching us last year. I thought it was good football compared to a lot of teams in the Premier League, compared to a lot of them. But compared to what we've seen under Klopp before,
it was a downgrade, wasn't it?
If you watched last season and you watch season, it's like The Wire or something. It's like if you watch season 3 and season 6, it's like, Jesus, what happened to that show? Season 3 was peak. It was like season 3 we were just peak Liverpool. And you watch us again. Yeah, it's the same manager on the touchline. The same. You got Trent, you've got Robbo, but that's not the same team. Yeah. That is not the same team.
I think Zelko Buvac was more closely aligned with Klopp's footballing philosophy than what Pep Linders turned out to be.
Exactly my point. That's exactly my point. And I thought, and that's what ended up happening, was it was diluted into what we saw last year. Good quality, but so predictable, slow, ponderous at times, and with no incision. No rock and roll, no heavy metal. None of that. It was just sort of, this is how you inverting a freaking fullback just because.
But it's Guardiola and Linders were responsible for that shit, weren't they? The way we had to morph from what we were into something else that wasn't as good on the eye.
There's absolutely no need for inverted fullbacks. There's no need for it whatsoever. None. Especially if you're just doing it because that's what everyone does. I just think we've gotten way too far down that rabbit hole of tactical kind of overthinking it. Klopp was real kind of playing on emotion with tactics behind it, whereas I think last season we just became so tactical, and we will be Slot will be a very, very tactical manager, but just maybe a new version, a new guy in the room. But I think we lost what made Klopp great by last season. I don't know what anybody else thinks.
I'm not usually the type to have my footballing opinions influenced by others, but the amount of mistrust and disdain for Pep Linders in comment sections over the last 3 seasons gradually just got under my skin, and I started having a go at him, and I realised that it was coming. I was really like listening to other people, but I think they were right what they were saying, because I initially liked Pep Linders and thought he was a force for good, and liked the man when he spoke. But then after a while, I got tired of him. But I'm big enough and old enough to admit that I was influenced by other fans in comment sections who were on him 24/7, saying, look at the way we play, look at this, look at that. And I started to think of it that way then myself, I'm ashamed to say.
Oh, I actually do appreciate Pep Linders. So
I appreciate him what he's done, and he is a good man. He's a good football man. All that jazz,
he's a great coach.
Everyone has their own ways of showing their appreciations and gratitude. I get it. Our fan base is not separate from that as well.
But I don't know the direction he took us in gradually as his influence grew around the selection process. Just people weren't feeling it after a while. Where they were like, no, we made a mistake there. Change into this from that.
I just think it was a combination. It wasn't. It's no slight on. No, I wasn't talking any shit about it. I just meant that the combination of Linders and Klopp didn't work for me.
Right.
It just didn't work. Linders will go off and do.
I mean,
great career.
Wait. What did we win? Did we not win anything with Pep Linders and Klopp?
No, what I'm saying for me, what you have to listen to is what I'm saying. For me, the combination of Klopp and Linders doesn't work. It was sort of like Klopp trying to modernize sort of. Basically, like he lost like Buvac, who was his guy, same age, brought it, and he tried to bring in the new young.
Buvac also thought that it was more him than it was.
No, I'm speaking general. What I'm speaking generally, what I mean is, Klopp was trying to bring in the new young kid with the new young ideas, and it didn't. He kind of. I just thought again. I'm not saying these are facts. I'm just saying that's the way I looked at it. Was that he was trying to, they just didn't chime together the way that the others and the Klopp's ideas are. I think Klopp's ideas
now
are
bring
more.
down Pep Guardiola and Manchester City, so they had to look around with how we did things, like to try and keep up with them and that. But I just didn't appreciate the way it went down towards the end, like copying the inverted and that. Just didn't think that it worked for us, and I thought it showed itself quite early that it wasn't working for us.
Yeah, it just wasn't Klopp, was it? It just wasn't
exactly.
Klopp.
And that's
Klopp
why
was old school, Pep's new school.
And quickly about Pep, the bigger picture.
Get your last comment about Pep. Get your last punch in.
You know what? Like for me, I think last season sort of showed the influence that Pep had over the team and the squad, and maybe over Klopp's decisions, game, who made the subs, this, that, and the other, and stuff. It sort of all crumbled after January, February time. Before that, they were getting on okay. Like we were top of the league, we were flying and stuff. The injuries came in and did a lot of damage. But I just feel that when you are a coach to a guy like Klopp, you don't tell really Klopp what to do. You could do behind closed doors, cup of tea, them two in a room chatting about football, but not be directly making your own decisions on the training ground without clarifying it with Klopp. Because for me, Klopp was the manager. Pep was there to probably put the cones down, telling the lads to what drills to do. For me, that's the coach.
No.
I think the initial blend of Klopp and Linders went okay when they first.
Well, I put it this way: I think we would have done better if it was just Linders. is what I'm saying.
I got you.
Like, I'm not punching anybody. What I'm saying is, if it had just been Linders doing his work and him on his own, I think it probably. What I'm saying is, there was Klopp and Linders. To me, again, he hired the guy and he brought him back. He's going to look at me and go, "You're talking shit. You don't know what you're talking about." You know, obviously he's going to say that. He brought him back. I just thought, like, Linders does one thing and Klopp does something else that's similar, but just a little bit too different. That they were never. I just thought Klopp was going to reach.
Well, we're in the
Linders
Arnie Slot era. The Klopp era
Slot is much
behind
more
us.
Linders.
You guys don't have to
Slot is
worry
much
about
more
Pep Linders or
no, Slot is much more Linders.
Who are
Don't put
they?
it. No one's slagging off Linders. I think the Slot is much more Linders, and that will work better for us.
Well,
Like, see, FSG didn't want a Klopp. I don't want to go down to it, but FSG don't want a Klopp. They don't want a guy who's bigger than. They want a guy who will listen to Michael Edwards, or not listen, but will work in the structure. And the structure is very important. That you got Michael Edwards, who's over football, then Richard Hughes, who was over Liverpool, and then Richard Hughes, who's over Arne Slot. That's what they need to work. Like, I think that will probably work, and I mean that's why there were shouts for Linders taking over, because he probably would have been more kind of seamless about it. It when you think about it, like, they don't want a guy in the middle who's like Klopp, basically the world's most famous football manager, after maybe Pep Guardiola. Probably in some parts of the world he's even more famous. I think it's kind of a cog in a wheel type thing at the moment.
Well, I'm going to move on to this lineup. We are trying to construct a lineup here. And I think that what we got a taste of in the Real Betis game was we actually played a 4-2-4, really, which was kind of interesting. I know it sounds weird, but someone played a 4-2-4 in that we had 2 10s, basically, or as I know Brian called it at one point, 2 false 9s at times. But we had Salah and we had Fabio on the wings, and we had a front lineup of Elliott and Dom, and we had the center-back partnership of Kwanzaa and Van den Berg in the back, and Kelleher. Now, I know I just saw that Connor was in practice or was in training, so I think then in that case, you probably would. I'll ask the panel to kind of give a thumbs up, thumbs down. We all think Connor then gets to start with him being available.
If he's fit and ready, I'd have him at right back, Van den Berg and Kwanzaa at the pairing in the middle, and then say maybe even Beck or Tsimikas, one of them two.
Can anyone tell me what side Kwanzaa and Van den Berg played on centre back? Who played left and who played right?
Kwanzaa played on the right side. Kwanzaa played on the right. Van den Berg played on the left.
Sam, thanks.
Mm-hmm. And we didn't really see Bradley doing like inverted. There was really no inverted. I don't know if you guys saw the game or not, but like
he didn't really do it.
He didn't really do any inverted role.
I'm happy about that.
Good.
It was good.
Who do we have starting on left back? I thought Tsimikas had a good game, by the way. Tsimikas had a very, very solid game yesterday. But do we give the nod to Tsimikas, or do we go with Owen Beck, or what do we do?
I would go with Tsimikas because of the experience. Because like you got Bradley one side, then you got them two, Van den Berg and Kwanzaa. Tsimikas would add a little bit of experience, like an older head. We're playing Arsenal as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you can bring Beck on 60th minute or something, maybe give him a little taste. But I'll probably start Tsimikas there, yeah. Okay,
Tsimikas gets to start. Brian, you okay with that? Oh, maybe not.
He wants Andy
Yeah,
Robertson.
some old
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was muted. Sorry. Yeah.
no worries. You Simicast gets to start for you on left back tomorrow or left? Was that? Yeah. Is that your Lee? You're with that too?
Yep.
Okay. Moving on then. So then I'll put Simicast there. Moving on into the midfield then. What do we see is that that little tandem that we're who we're going to see in the midfield?
Well, I was propagating the notion that Bajcetic should start in the number 6, but I think maybe Endo should start in the 6 and Bajcetic should start where Curtis was playing, the left-hand side of the 3.
Yeah, Bajcetic didn't start. He got in at the 65th minute, something like that.
Yeah. Let's start him in that left hand.
Took a little bit of warming up. Took a little while to get warmed up, by the way. Took a little while to get warmed up. It looked like but once he got the legs.
Sorry, with Elliott on the right, will give Elliott license to influence the play more because Bajcetic and Endo is a solid, other 2 in a 3. And Bajcetic can play that left-hand side or the right-hand side, but he's a skilled boy and he's got plenty of technical skill, Bajcetic, but he can also put his foot in, which is what we like. And this is what we want to see, innit? I want to see them two with Elliott start the game and see what we can do, right? And,
Okay, so we're starting Endo. Is that a thumbs up from everyone on the panel here? Lee, Irishman, then JK. You want to start Endo, Lee?
We got no one else, have we? Really,
there's other options. You can go with,
and we've got a few young
Tyler
players.
Morton. Tyler Morton is an option. I'm trying to think who else we got to see play.
We start the game stronger, don't you? Because you want to stay in the game, even though it's a fitness exercise. You want to stay in the game, and it is against Arsenal, and we're being watched by our American fans. Can't be going there and getting a pasting off Arsenal, mate. Can't be
exactly, Lee. Exactly.
So I'd like to see Endo, Bajcetic, and Elliott start in midfield.
I'll go with that.
Well, Arsenal's got a good midfield, mate. You know what I mean? Arsenal's got a good midfield, so
okay. So we're going Endo. Yes, then Lee, right? Irishman. Endo gets to start on Wednesday for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
No worries. Yeah.
JK. Endo gets to start.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's going to be his partner? Who's going to be his partner then? Follow that up with who you would have as partner.
With Endo, yeah?
Yeah.
I would have Bajcetic.
Okay.
Getting some game time. Marseille put a bid in for Endo, 11.6 million.
Yeah.
So that's a bit ridiculous. Yeah. We turned it down, I think.
Not selling for that, though. I mean, he's too useful to sell for that. He's a useful player.
That's why
people think about him being the number 6 going forward and being the one and only, whatever you think about that, put that on the back burner. We cannot sell a man like Endo for 11 million.
Yeah, we can't do that.
No.
Yeah.
He was our best player last season for a few games. He was so valuable.
Yeah. When he clicked and bedded in, he was probably our best performer in a few games.
He was. I want 40 million for him.
Yeah, like Soboslai will be needed up front, won't he? We need Soboslai. Can't afford to put him in midfield. Elliott's our attacking midfielder in that 3. Is our, you know what I
mean? Brian's going through little things with his, I think, his headset or his microphone.
No, I had to just deal with the people.
Deal with the front of the house. I got you.
Yeah.
So all right, so Bajcetic is JK's choice. In the chat, tell us who your chat choices are too. It's
get him in there. Get him minutes. Get Bajcetic legs.
Get Bajcetic in with Endo to start this time. Curtis Jones was the option last time. In the last game, obviously. On the start, I'm not certain. what was the situation? I mean, like, I was, from what I heard originally, or from what they were saying is that it was speculating that it could have been a hamstring situation with Curtis Jones. Because Curtis Jones came off in the 30-something minute, 34, 36 minutes, something like that.
Oh, anything but a hamstring. Come on, Kurt.
31st minute, he came out.
Mate, I was really pumped up for Kurt to start the season as well. And with him being, a Scouser and that, it matters to me. I don't think it matters to non-Scouts Liverpool fans whether we have Scousers in the team, but it matters to me. I was all pumped up for Curtis having a good start to the season. I just hope it can still happen, that he isn't necessarily ruled out for Ipswich. But even if he isn't, he'll be coming in off the back of a bloody injury, and he won't have done his training. You know what I mean? It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, he came off in the 31st minute. Trenioni came on. Trenioni played well. I wouldn't. You're talking about names out there that if not Bichetic, who else? Obviously, I brought up Tyler Morton, but I also would say not only Tyler, but I also say Trenioni. Trenioni was very impressive. Very impressive in the game, in that he was obviously probably looking to get put in at the 31st minute of the game, especially for Curtis, but he took over Curtis's role, and
gotta be ready to go.
You gotta be ready to go. Yeah, you do. So
put it this way, I'll be flabbergasted if Trey doesn't get minutes against Arsenal after his Betis performance. We all know.
No, I'd say he was loving it though. Look, we all know nobody wants to see anything bad happen to anybody, but the moment you're on a bench and you get called up, you're on. That's what you live for, is to go out on the pitch. So for him to go out there and get that opportunity, and then for a lot of people to have him as man of the match and all that, that's great. That's really, really good. So like I say, every cloud, like Curtis goes off, okay, that's bad. But then this kid comes on and everyone's talking about how brilliant he is. So, okay, it's like that's football in a nutshell, No, you think, we lost Curtis, and then 2 minutes later, everyone's like, wow, who's this Trenioni kid? He's amazing. That's why we love football.
It's one of the major reasons why you got. One of the major reasons why
our youth teams last season, because I was paying for the bloody privilege. I haven't got LFC TV now, like now. I'll get it back at some point, but I was keeping a good eye on the young players, and Trey was one of our better players without a shadow of a doubt. He stood out in a lot of the games.
What position did he normally play then? Because I asked this last night, but Lee, so was he I
didn't really
attacking
know.
mid?
I didn't know if he played a fixed position. From what I saw, he played a few different roles, which is how it works in youth football with the forwards. They move around a bit, don't they?
But sort of a Dom Szoboszlai or a McAllister, like an attacking 8 kind of guy. He's not a winger. He's not a left winger or a right winger or a striker. He's
attacking midfield is the best way to describe him at this juncture until we see more of it. He's an attacking midfielder,
So, what's your vote then? Bichetic, right?
Yeah.
Lee, who are you going to go with as your choice for the center back, or excuse me, for the pair right there for Endo's partner? You're looking for it. Okay. Oh, okay, cool. You can see the private chat. That's what's up. I'm not against Trenioni getting the start. I don't know what is up. I don't want to obviously make these preseason games aren't that important that I have to see Curtis Jones play in, if it's a calf injury, as Bernie's saying, or someone that I remember someone
he won't play if
it was his hamstring. If it's that, you don't risk it.
No, don't even put on the bench.
Yeah.
You don't go. These aren't win or die, or sort of win or lose. It's
right.
Like if you got any kind of knock,
I was going to take a cheeky little jab at Spurs. This isn't the Tiger Cup or something, or something like that.
No, what was it they won? The out? No, it was the Audi.
The
Audi Cup.
The Audi Cup, yeah, the Audi Cup, which kind of it's not a trophy, but it's the last thing that Spurs have won is the Audi Cup.
Yeah,
it's the only thing they've won in like 28 years or something. Is the Audi Cup, which is a preseason friendly tournament. But
right, they went all in. They went all in.
Yeah, it had a trophy, so it's the only trophy they've ever won in the last. I don't. But yeah, we all love them. These
quick question then, Brian, real quick. I'll put this question in. This is from the chat. Mark asks, Tyler Morton plus cash for Ederson in Atlanta, yes or no?
Is that a thing? Like, is that just a kind of a? I mean, is that
that's just him thinking outside the box.
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Because Atalanta he's reported, or at least he says
that he's seen a report. Darryl. That's a Darryl question, really, isn't it? That's a Darryl question.
I know. Yeah. Darryl loves himself some.
Yeah,
Atalanta
he loves himself some Ederson. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love the players in general.
He was saying this. He said that Atalanta is interested in Tyler Morton. Reported in.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Del Sport and Gravenberch is wanted by Galatasaray.
Now I see the link. At least there's an actual reason for saying it. So
yeah, okay. That's a link I can get behind. That's a bus I can hop aboard.
Really?
I would love if Tyler Morton said to me, I would love the idea of Tyler Morton saying, I would love to go and play abroad, because not enough English players do it. I would love that kid having the stones to go and say, yeah, I'll go and play Atalanta and play the Champions League. I love that.
So if it goes well, we can have him back.
Yeah.
I'd
love that.
Clause in it.
Yeah, and then Darryl would be happy. We'd have Ederson. So yeah, that's
right.
That for Darryl would be happy then. So yeah, win-win.
Okay. And you'd be interested even in the second portion of that, which is the report.
Oh no, it's both of them. Like, I don't know this Ederson guy. See,
no, not that. I was just talking about the
Gravenberch by Gala. I've seen that floated. Yeah, I've seen that floated a couple of times as well, and that does make sense from a if I'm a journalist that's tasked with writing a transfer rumor. I can write the Gravenberch one because he didn't play. He barely played last year. He didn't have great Euros, so I can write that one. McAllister, no, I can't write a story about McAllister leaving Liverpool.
Right.
But I can write one about Gravenberch, definitely. But I also saw that story was floated about 4 weeks ago, and Romano or somebody said, yeah, obviously the club would like that, but the kid is nowhere near saying, yeah, it hasn't worked out for me at Liverpool. I need to go to Turkey. I need to resurrect my career in Turkey. Like, that's a real, when you're 29, you go and resurrect your career.
He's not exactly
he's nowhere near that. Exactly. He's nowhere near that. So that was knocked on the head straight away. But he is one of our 575 midfielders.
Yeah.
You know? So also that works into my story. If I'm transfer journalist number 122, I'm writing that story all day. I can make it sound like
most of those transfer stories are basically just like cut and paste. Basically, it's like just insert some stats from his last year, put his name, put the name, put a number out there that's going to attract you to even look at it, and then
he didn't play. He's unsettled, new manager. Oh, it's really easy. Jurgen Klopp bought him, and Jurgen Klopp is left. There's another angle.
Yeah,
it's full of angles to sell him, but he ain't going to Turkey.
I think that's a step backwards. All due respect to the Turkish league, I think it's a step backwards for Ryan Gravenberch. He's the progression of where he's gone from Dutch league to the Bundesliga to now to the Prem, and now having coach that's a Dutch coach as well, you know, might be able to appreciate his diversity with his game. I think that'd be a step back, personally.
Ryan's one of them players that I'm still very excited about, that I'm waiting to see. You know what I mean? We've seen him and we've seen flashes, but he's one of those players I'm really excited about. I was really excited when we bought Ryan because I was pissed off last summer that we haven't bought nobody. And then right at the end, we get Endo and Ryan. And I was very excited when we bought Ryan. And I wouldn't say he disappointed me because it was his first season and he did show flourishes. There were people all over him from the get-go saying he weren't any good. And same with the same people were saying Gakpo wasn't up to it last season. But Ryan had a fragmented season due to injury, and plus he had to settle it anyway, like when he arrived. So I'm very much looking forward to Ryan's season this season, very much so. Like I want to see what he's got.
I think I'd like to see what happens.
Period has done him the power of good, as we hope it has, and that next season he's like, you know, just ready to go like from the off, because he's got a good mix as well, Ryan, hasn't he? Like you said, his game's varied. There's a mixture with Ryan.
I'm very high on Gravenberch being a talent for us, a player that I think has he's still extremely young, you know. So he's got the he's definitely, you know, he was touted as one being one of the wonder kids that just hadn't really, you know, hit the ground running at Bayern Munich. But I think that Bayern Munich was a bad place for him to go personally, only because the approach that Bayern Munich takes with their players, the way they treat the talent that comes in. I mean, and they certainly have a much more higher preference in playing German players than they do playing international players.
Did you see the players he had to get him ahead of to be in that Bayern team? I think some people were trying to frame it like, oh, he's failed at Bayern. Mate, did you see the players?
I don't think he failed at Bayern. I don't think he ever got the opportunity. Yeah, I don't think he ever got the chance, a real chance. I mean, I'm sure JK could probably speak on that a little bit better than myself, but I just don't think that he got a real chance to.
No, that's unmitigated horseshit to say that he failed at Bayern. Because
you want to say a comment on that one, JK, before we go into the front line?
Yeah, getting game time at clubs like Real Madrid and Bayern pretty hard. Even Man City, look at that, Grealish on the bench, 100 million.
Yeah.
So that's why I say sometimes big players go to big clubs, maybe because of their attitude with the coach, this, that, or the other. They don't get game time, and then people straight away think, "Oh, look, he's not good enough for Bayern. He ain't that good."
Yeah. Why? He's not good enough for Bayern? Why is he good enough for Liverpool?
For us. So that's why I say personality clashes. People don't understand, like, personality plays a big part in running a football club. Like Jurgen Klopp is the type of guy, I think 99 people out of 100 will get on with Klopp. There'll be one guy who might not get on with him. So that happens, you know. But yeah.
The front line that I had I think Salah is pretty much, you know, I think we'll see Salah start all these games. I think Salah also will be, you know, he's the only player on the squad currently that was a part of that leadership group that we had with Ali, Salah, Robbo, Trent, and I'm missing someone. Who did I miss? I said Salah, Ali, Robbo, Trent, and who was the fifth in the leadership group?
Chairman.
Oh, did I not say Virgil? Oh, wow. Well, of course, captain. The captain is definitely part of that. Yeah. Yeah, Virgil. So Virgil, obviously, as our captain. But with that said, Salah is the person that is our captain. So I think we'll see him start with this new hairdo. And
he's shaved his head, Arimo now.
Yeah. I think though, like again, we went with 4-2-4. I just saw also, I believe, Hyler was talking about the fact that he saw Diego play. He was in practice, in training. That's a positive to see. I like that. We're seeing that. It shows that Diego, considering he didn't get really any playing time with Portugal, which is like, I just don't understand that. But even with CR7 being there, that's just stupid to me. But hey, it's benefit for us, in the sense of he was rested. He didn't have to. He doesn't have those miles on his legs now going into the new season, and he's back with the team. Would I like to see him start? I absolutely would like to see him start, to be honest with you. If we're not going to have these options, we don't have really any strikers other than maybe like Blair, like Harvey Blair, who did play well, by the way. But it's not a realistic. It's not a realistic option for us as like being like I won't say wasted minutes, but in the sense of be like, why give him minutes like that, prime minutes with these players when the chances are he's not possibly even going to be with the club.
Diogo's there. I don't see why he's there if he's not going to have any minutes. You know what I mean? He didn't have any in the last one.
Well, he wasn't going to be. He's just joined the team. That's why he wasn't. Yeah. He wasn't on the list of names, but there are some names that are going to be
Arsenal as well. Diogo's got a good record against Arsenal. Some appearance like in the second half would do nice, like especially if he managed to sneak in there and bag a couple of goals or at least one.
Do you really think that, honestly, though, and this to people in the chat as well, I don't want to see anybody playing in this tournament that isn't fit. Really, do you want, why does anybody really care that much about who plays left back against Arsenal in a friendly in the USA tour when half the team that's going to be starting the Premier League isn't even there yet? Mm-hmm. I really don't want any, we're talking about Man United calling back. Man United calling back players straight away just to put them out in the shop window, like Man United do. It's like, we've got sponsorship deals to pay for, or, to uphold. I don't care, rushing back. I don't want that. I just want to read the result in the paper and see that someone scored a few goals and that's it. But, someone like Jota
to talk about, really.
But these guys, man, I want to talk about the Neonis. That's what I want to talk about in preseason. Did you see that young kid? Did you see that 16-year-old, that 17? Did you see him? That's what I like. It's like, we know how good Jota is. We know how good Dom is. We know if there's any kind of risk in these guys, sit them down. Yeah. But this, the sponsors.
Like a 15-minute sub appearance. Or something for Jota at the end, bang at the end when Arsenal players are tired and they're not up for kicking them. They'll be too tired to kick them. I'll be up for seeing them for the last 15.
Yeah, I know. It's just such a fine balance to kind of to strike because, like we said to 12, when you got people in America, people in Australia wait 5-6 years to see a Liverpool tour show up. So you want to see, you don't expect them to wheel out some injured star player.
Right,
but you do kind of want to see some representation of the club.
For the price you're paying for these tickets, you do.
Oh, yeah. But then, does that dictate what the club should do?
For a price, because I know the prices I've been seeing for these games, I've heard people complain about the prices at Anfield. Well, those prices are very similar for games that don't have any real meaning other than just a glorified.
But that's then the problem, is it? Will you then put a club under pressure to play, not say play, but bring an injured player just because people have paid a load of money to see it? That's the fault of the people overcharging to pay it. So then you put you put clubs under pressure to bring a guy.
Do you know what the mini derby is in Liverpool? The youth players derby.
You could do but that happened to Newcastle, Lee. For instance, Newcastle but they played a preseason. They played some type of exhibition game. And I wouldn't say it was preseason. It was actually
the mini derby was tasty for tackles. There was always passion in the mini derby. Like,
too bloody right.
Well worth the admission fee to see the to see the young players having a go at each other, kicking each other.
Well, what I was alluding to was that Newcastle played a game down in Australia, and Newcastle lost that game. What they lost like 8-0, I think it was, or something, to the Australian side. But then you see those headlines. It's Newcastle loses 8-0 to Australian side. It was about that. I'll double check to see what score.
Liverpool. So I remember like a lot of the mini derbies had better atmosphere than some Premier League games against like a no-name team like who no one was asked about. The mini derby sometimes had better passionate atmospheres like on the Cop and that, like for the mini derby.
Yeah, it's like it's the fever of the early season. Everyone's who's doing this, who's doing that. They're so desperate for it to come back that they want to see they want to see the Reds doing anything. So we'll all be talking.
Well, they played the game,
the Arsenal game. Yeah, no, it's just good to see everyone back. Yeah, it's good to see like who played here, who played there. Could he do this? Could he do that? But you've just got to wait and see. When it comes down to the first day of the season, when only 11 guys can get on the pitch, you'll see some of these guys that it's kind of like the Marty McFly family vote thing. They kind of start to fade into the background again.
Steven Gerrard and David Thompson were like two of our players. You know what I mean? Carragher had made the breakthrough. By that time of that season, like the last time I went to one, Dave Tomo and Gerrard were in there. And Steve Wright as well, Stephen Wright.
So the game I was talking about was Newcastle, the A-League All-Stars played. It was like a postseason tour. Newcastle did a postseason tour of Australia, but the team that they brought, it wasn't like they brought their A-list team. They brought a lot of the youth players, and it was like Newcastle and almost like in name only in essence, And of course,
they did that in Ireland.
The headline 8-0 sound.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but they did that in Ireland a couple of years ago. They announced the tour of Ireland, like they announced a pre-season Liverpool tour of Ireland, and everyone's like, "Are you serious? Like Liverpool?" Like, and this is only about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and people are like, "Nah, man, that's kind of crazy. Like, there's no way Klopp and so." But it was kind of the rumor that it's like, yeah, officially, and then like sort of 2 weeks before it dropped, it was like, yeah, but it's like the youth squads. So it was like the Liverpool youth squads were they weren't even going to say or pretend it was the first team. So they kind of let everybody, and then it was like, but no, it's literally just everything up to the under 21s was going to tour. It was like, all right, because they played here, they played in Waterford across the road. But yeah, like I think one of the guys was there. Bicetish played in that tournament. But yeah, like it was a bunch of kids going around Ireland. But yeah. Probably
difficult to get a ticket like for Premier League matches as the years have rolled on. So like the mini derby was a good way to wean the kids on football, like, you know what I mean? Take them to the mini derby.
But I reckon the social media plays
the original lineup that I just said.
Yeah, I was just going to quickly say
Go ahead, JK. Finish your thought.
Like imagine Slot gets battered by Arsenal 5-0, for example. Straight away, you're going to get them fans making videos, doing this, doing that. Hype. And they won't say, oh, look, 9 of them guys were 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. You had Salah and maybe, say, Szoboszlai on the pitch.
No, I get that. I get that.
That's what it is now, bro. Friendlies in the old days, what Brian said earlier about, I just want to see the score on a newspaper and a few pictures, blah, blah, blah. But the way social media is, they're going to just hype that up into oh, look, Liverpool are in trouble. second, like they had a friendly game, got battered by Arsenal, who are their title rivals going into the season. So that's what the world is now, salt and pepper on everything. So I wouldn't risk players like Jota, people like that. If they're not 100% fit, let them sit in the stands.
Yeah.
No, man, you're bang on. Actually, that's why I don't like. Sorry, just quickly. That's why I don't like playing English teams.
Yeah.
In these preseason things,
Mm-hmm.
because it just generates all that shit.
Yeah.
Like if we play Atletico Madrid and Guangzhou and Inter Milan, yeah, whatever. But now, you lost to Arsenal. Slot got bet by Arteta. He got bet by Ten Hag. That's why I don't like playing. I don't like playing English teams in preseason. Yeah. It should be about playing random foreign teams.
Right. You definitely weren't happy to see our preseason. I'm sure when the fixtures came out, I'm sure you're probably pretty.
Oh yeah, no, that's a really new enough thing. That really is. That's a really recent thing that you actually play against. Like even when you go on tour, you play against random teams.
But you could see how hard it was. A lot the Arsenal game and the Manchester United game. I would be more than not shocked if the Man United game isn't sold out, even though it's in South Carolina. I still think it's most likely sold out.
They're sold out. Yeah, no, but that's no.
I was gonna just say to land like us. We're talking like these stadiums here in America are like 75, 80,000. I mean, some of the stadiums we have here are like 100, 110,000 seat stadiums. So so they're big venues, and if you're bringing these big name teams, I mean, when you play Met Stadium, which is basically where the Giants play, and that's NFL team Giants, and the Jets play up north. I mean, you're talking like 85,000 people stadiums, huge stadiums, and you want big names because it was Pittsburgh did a decent marketing of trying to pitch. It was, I'd say, if not 5, 6, very close to. It was well over 3/4 of the fans were for Liverpool's primarily red kits amongst yellow seats.
I know, but just quickly, you don't need to do that playing English teams. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I know, you fill the stadium. But what I'm saying is, we play English teams every season. The whole I don't like. It's like I don't like playing Premier League teams in
preseason
in the Champions League. That's when so you can what I'm saying is
you feel like you've been screwed.
I'm not saying I didn't like. But I understand. It's of course. I mean, the commercial aspect goes without saying. What I'm saying is I don't like it. I don't like because that means you get this ridiculous. Everybody overreacts to a pointless, meaningless preseason game already. When, like you said, people won't put it in context. There was 24 substitutions. There was nobody there. It's this pointless, meaningless early slot versus Arteta. First, it's point that's I get it fills bums on seats.
Yeah,
you can do that with, and we do it lots of clubs. What I'm saying is, we play Arsenal at least twice a year, every year. We play them all the time. I want to play Inter Milan. I want to play Santos. I want to play. I
love jumping them out the FA Cup.
That's what you want to do. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, that's the thing. But no, what I'm saying, it creates this false, fake narrative earlier on that Slot just lost to Arteta. No, he didn't. He didn't.
No, I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
we spoke about that. I believe the day before when I said when I asked the question, what's the narrative going to be out there if hypothetically, if we were to lose all 3 of these games, what's the narrative going to be? Arnie Slot out. Is it going to be?
Need it.
And then not the results.
And then you add on top of that what you and JK are both saying, and even Lee's saying too, in that you add that it's an English team that even puts even more prefaces of, oh, we're not up to that level, or we're not this, or we're not that, and that's the bar and everything else. And it's just kind of like, it's one thing to possibly lose to Arsenal, but it's another thing to lose to Manchester United. That's gonna be just another thing of like, Euros.
Oh, but hey, look! Imagine we go out and beat them 5-0. I mean, I won't be complaining then. We'll be the one doing the crowing.
Yeah,
hey, we just bet your guys 5-0.
Yeah,
but it won't.
I don't want
to
get it.
It won't mean anything.
I think for myself, and I'm gonna get into. We're gonna end. We're gonna be landing the plane here, guys. This team, like in preseason, I'm just looking. I've basically reserved a lot of my impressions of how I'm going to evaluate or how much work I'm going to put into these games, and primarily also understand the fact that this team isn't the final article, obviously, not even close to the final article. This is the opportunity for a lot of these players just to get some playing time and get maybe show the coach what their minerals are, and if they have the minerals to go forward in the games, in the roles that we'll need them to play. Because you're right, these games aren't the end all be all. It's just an opportunity for me in America to see them. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm like, hey, this is an opportunity to see my team play.
I want you.
I'm appreciative of that.
I want our American fans to get their money's worth, and see it. And it doesn't matter who's playing. You're watching Liverpool, aren't you? At the end of the day, whoever plays, it's not really that important, is it? You're watching Liverpool. That's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I would love to see it. Robert. I'd love to see. I'll bring up
Jimmy is saying.
Comments. Yeah, let me bring up the comments. Then I'll bring up Jimmy's comment, and then you can respond. You can reply to it. How about that? Real quick, Robert says, he's looking forward to headlines. Liverpool kids beat Arsenal again. That'd be great. And Bernie says, preseason used to be get the players fit after a long break, but players stay fit now with Euros, etc., and the players keep themselves fitter. Yeah, the season, there's almost like no end to it. It's almost a 365 season practically nowadays. They're lucky to get a 2-week, if not 3-week break in there sometimes with all the schedules to the fixtures that they get to go on.
Yeah,
and then Jimmy, this is the comment that Irishman wanted to comment
on players like Virgil isn't right in recent years. It's not right, mate. He's not got enough rest, Virgil, in recent years.
Jimmy's saying, yep, you can't judge anything on these games, but some people take them as a season-defining moment. It's nuts. I agree with that. It is kind of silly.
I'm disappointed that more managers didn't come out and back up about the number of games. Only a couple of them bothered their arses to back them up. But Klopp came out numerous times and said there is too many games now. And he said if we're not looking after the welfare,
I think that they just
are not looking after the welfare of players.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, before I even comment, I'll let the Irishman. You want to comment on Jimmy's comment? If you want to say that before I.
Jimmy. Oh yeah, sorry, Jimmy. No, I was just Jimmy. It's like Jimmy. Me and Jimmy are around the same age now. Mid-40s. Where you get to the point where you've seen the movie before, and you're looking at it's oh my sweet dear summer child. These new people that come along and say, oh, maybe this means that, maybe this means that, maybe that means that. It's like,
no,
seen it all before 1,000 times. You get the odd glitch in the Matrix. I know we sound tired and jaded when we do it like that, but it's just like, show me in 6 months where we are.
Right.
But the thing with the preseason thing, the thing that I find so funny, Jimmy, is like people older than you and me, Jimmy, and people
are doing it now.
Way older are still doing it like they've never seen a preseason before. They've never seen these things. I'm cool with 17 and 18-year-olds.
I agree with that.
I'm cool with that. But these guys are older go, dude, have you not seen football? We've been watching it for ages.
You have to keep
so it's cool. Yeah, but anyway, I'll move on from that. But that's just my quick. But what was the second thing?
So I was just gonna say also, look, if you just go by preseason, then I'm sure there would have been people out there thinking that Nicholas Jackson was going to be possibly the Golden Boot winner of the Premier League, because Chelsea were in their preseason last year were scoring for fun. You know what I mean? Like they were just running up
I'll tell you,
scores.
the king of preseason for LFC, everyone knows what I'm talking about, Danny Pacheco.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, JK, right? The best player in preseason every single year.
Yeah,
Danny Pacheco. And guess what?
This is his year.
8 minutes in the Premier 8 minutes in the Premier League, or 2 games in the Premier League. So okay, let's talk about him now in preseason. Go, well, he looks amazing. Cool. Let's revisit it in 12 months.
Right. Yeah, let's revisit that.
In 12 months after a season of Premier League football.
Right.
Are we now talking about him again for the first time in preseason?
Right.
Okay. Did we not talk about him all season? Okay. Now we're talking about a preseason player.
Well,
so that's what I'm talking about. So look, they're all out there, but the main boys will be the main boys.
Yeah.
You can only pick 11.
So this is the 11. If Diego is fit, which I hope I know he is, but and it's not like there wasn't any knocks or any worries about that. At least that have been reported about Diego. Diego was on the sidelines for the game in Pittsburgh. He's been, like as Hyler commented earlier, he has been seen on the pitch getting into the training with them as well. That could be a very, very good sign that he maybe does get an opportunity to start and get involved in the game. I would like to see that, because that would be closer to bringing about the shape of this team that we would be more comfortable, if not comfortable, more expecting to see, in that we're all somewhat expecting a 4-3-3 kind of format. That could mean that we could see still Stefan Bajcetic out there playing the pivot, or it could be maybe Endo ends up playing just the 6, and we move Bajcetic up in that 8, and he just kind of like drifts back and forth in that pivot role with Endo. But we could see then Elliott be more utilized as maybe like an 8, if not /10. And that would be that kind of stuff is stuff that I would like to see. I would like to see what is going to be the realistic shape of this team, because honestly, yes, we have plenty of options when it comes to forwards, whether it's Cody, Darwin, the likes, obviously Diego involved in that too, that can play that striker, that 9 for us. So the whole 2 10s, 2 9s probably isn't going to be happening. It's just a matter of circumstances that we don't have a out and right 9, and we weren't going to start. And the one that we do in Blair, we probably weren't going to start. So I'm interested to see that. That's my bottom line. And if that is, I would look maybe to see this lineup here, which would be very interesting, because I don't know, maybe Dom gets a seat only because he was playing through with the knock. I know that he is available. You don't want to do what Brian said earlier, which is like play a player that can't play, or is trying to play through injury for some dumb reason during the preseason. That's not what you want to see. But this is the lineup that I would like to see come Wednesday. If we have the option of playing it, I would love to see this lineup. So before we go and let the people go on to final destination, since the Live Birds parked on the tarmac here, is there anything that you wanted to say to people, or anything you wanted to bring up real quick before we go, Lee?
Do you remember that film, Final Destination?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There we go with this one.
That one, that one.
Okay.
That was the top film, actually. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there's a thought to leave you on. Final Destination. If you haven't seen it, I guess Lee is saying go watch it. All right. Brian, is there anything that you'd like to say to people before we let them go? Oh, maybe not. Oh, actually, I see Brian's on mute. JK, is there anything?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Is there anything you'd like to say to people before we let them go, JK?
Yeah, I just want to say good show. Good talking about the game the other day. Look forward to the Arsenal game. Hope you enjoy it, 12 man.
Yeah.
Also, quickly, I did a Premier League 11 for the show yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I quickly want to tell you it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, man. Fly away.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got Alisson in goal. Trent at right back, Saliba, Virgil in the middle, Guardiola at left back, Rodri, De Bruyne, Foden in the middle, Salah, Haaland, and you got to pick between Palmer or Saka on the wing there. So it's really like
so wait, what was your midfield again? What was your midfield again?
Rodri, De Bruyne, Foden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, KDB and Foden in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Rodri, all Man City,
all
light blue. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then up front you had
Palmer, Haaland.
Well, Palmer or Saka, apparently he can't choose. So
yeah, you're on the fence there.
Haaland.
I'll probably go with Palmer.
Yeah, because I don't know about Saka playing on the left, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. That'll be my team.
All right. I'll put that down.
Even to be honest, that wasn't even the most sort of non-Liverpool. Like even Lee went above and beyond that in the non-Liverpool stakes. But you have two. You have Salah and Virgil. Yeah.
And Alisson.
Oh,
and
three.
Trent.
Yeah, three.
Four.
Oh, you're four. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Same. I had the same four. Oh no, wait. I didn't have. Maybe I had five. I did have five actually.
It was the other one, bro.
I had Maka start.
I was tempted with Maka if we'd change him for De Bruyne.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 50-50. I didn't know which one to go with, so I went with De Bruyne, you know.
I had my three were I had Ali, Trent, and McAllister were my only Liverpool included.
Oh, okay.
But Lee went. I don't know. Did Lee even include a Liverpool there? Like he had no Liverpool.
He's got the old Everton team in there.
Lee just doesn't rate them. He just doesn't rate them.
Okay. Well, for me, you got to have Virgil and Alisson in there, and Salah.
Yeah.
You got to have them three.
No, he had Gabriel and Saliba.
He did.
He had Gabriel and Saliba.
Yeah, Gabriel and Saliba as a centre back pairing.
Yeah.
Don't think he went. I mean, he's right here, Lee. Who was it? What was your squad again, real quick? Do you remember? No.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Let me see if I can try to remember what his line was. I think he had Ali.
Lee was going with the chat as well. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? He had two. He had two. He had Ali and he had Connor Bradley. That's who he started at, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You went with Bradley Lee, didn't that was and then you had Haaland and you had
he had Isaac, Haaland, Palmer up front.
Isaac, Palmer,
Odegaard, Rodri, and Bruno Fernandes. And then
Lee went with Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Lee went with Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, you didn't miss. Yeah, you did hear us right. Yeah.
Bro, in the fantasy leagues, I've never put a Man United player in any of my teams ever.
No.
Just like you just can't do that.
Yeah, you sound like an eminently sensible individual, JK.
Thank
you. There you go.
Night, Barney.
Night, everyone that's going to be got their luggage from the overhead bin and is going on to their final destination. Liverbird has parked. Definitely enjoy your weekends or the end of your weekends as you prep for your for the Monday ahead. And yeah, let's all enjoy.
No need to mention Monday.
Yeah. Hey, so Mondays are fun. Mondays are my weekends, so that's kind of like I look forward to Mondays. But again, big up to everyone that joined us today. Thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for always joining the way that you guys do in contributing, having the sense to be able to communicate with each other in the chat with the panel as well. Obviously, we appreciate your comments and what you have to say, and primarily. I like the fact that in our chat we try to do our best to hold some type of respect for each other and not to go too far, even if our opinions don't necessarily, even if our opinions aren't the same or don't mesh, or maybe our viewpoints are different. That's all well and good. It doesn't mean that we don't have love for each other as Reds, and that's what I appreciate the most out of this. So, again, I hope that you guys have a great end of your Sunday. You'll see us most likely come Thursday, but we might be able to get a show in on Monday. We'll see. I'm going to talk to the guys and see if we can figure something out for Monday, to get one more last show out there before Monday, and also get what we're going to do going forward with that little break, that travel break of mine that I have to do. So until then, as always, up the Reds, people, up the Reds, and we'll see you soon. Take care, guys.